While we're talking about how our skin looks on the camera, do you guys see this sort of like blemish right here?
Sure.
Sky right here? Any guesses on what that is? How I got it? You want to know how I got these scars?
Probably
It's a zit.
No. So
Oh, is it not a zit?
I've been having intense dental pain for the last like 48 hours, and
no.
it's fine. It's fine. I'm like heavily medicated on Advil, but I needed to
you need the real shit.
Yeah, I'm like Advil.
But if you take two or three
take
Advil,
Advil
if you take 2 or 3 Advil, it's a pretty good hit.
One time my
opinion.
dentist prescribed me 800 milligram single pills of Advil.
The horse pill,
Yeah.
like the horse pill, those
exists.
don't work.
No.
My
That's
dentist
a
gave
really big gel tab.
well,
huge.
mine wasn't gel. Was yours gel, Ben? Mine was like a big, thick white brick,
But it was big. Yeah.
like
What are you
very
drinking?
thick. And yeah, my dentist gave me those one time, and
Trader Joe's.
Ben, while I was checking on Linda the other week while you were out of town, I meant to text you that I took one of your soda waters from the fridge, which was like a cherry vanilla Coke
How could you?
sure.
or something.
Wait, delicious.
That was the best seltzer I've ever had in my life.
I mean, it wasn't Coca-Cola flavored.
No, but
I believe
it was cherry
black
vanilla.
Cherry vanilla. Yeah.
What's
It
the
tastes.
brand?
It tasted
From
like
Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's. It tasted like black cherry vanilla Dr Pepper.
And it was
Trader
So
Joe's will
sparkling
have like
water.
the generic Trader Joe's brand next to like Spindrift, and Spindrift is like a 3 times more expensive.
It's
And even if the
$100.
flavor looks more enticing, I will always get a Trader Joe's brand. We've completely derailed from your blemish.
That's okay. I was watching Toby Hooper's I'm Dangerous tonight while I was watching Linda because Ben had the Blu-ray near his television, and I was looking through. I had like a list of things I wanted to watch, and I was like, "Fuck this! I want to watch Anthony Perkins in a deadly cursed dress." And I had that delicious black cherry vanilla sparkling water while I watched it. It's the greatest thing I've ever tasted. Horse pills, dentist. So I've been taking aspirin because it's not. I've had dental pain so bad that like my cheek has ballooned the size of a tangerine, and I have to like get a tooth pulled. So this is nothing compared to that. So Advil's doing the job. But yesterday I was really hungry because I hadn't been eating anything because every time I was eating, it was creating pressure in my teeth, and so I went to the Jamba Juice.
dental.
You remember Jamba Juice, which
Yeah.
is still
Hell
still
yeah.
alive. Still
Always.
operational. I ordered a large Jamba Juice
Yum.
smoothie. I got whey protein. I got the 3G energy, and
3G.
it's like coffee or it's caffeine. I don't know what it is, but it's cute that they call it 3G because I wonder if they haven't changed the name for that since 2009.
Yeah, they haven't
Yeah.
upgraded to
Yeah.
Yeah.
L-
I'm like, can I get a scoop of
5G
LTE energy, please?
Right.
Anyway, this is a lot of wind up for. I was so hungry, and when I got my Jamba Juice, I
you
was
stab yourself
I was
with the
so
straw?
blissed out drinking my Mighty Mango or whatever that I walked right into a plate glass door. And the Jamba Juice like exploded and splattered all over the glass.
No way.
My
still
sun,
at Jamba Juice?
I was still at Jamba Juice. My sunglass arm got like popped out, and so I think the glass and the sunglasses gave me this little beauty mark.
Wait,
and the
smoothie
best part though was just like
loaded.
it was a full third of the smoothie. Like I'm holding it like crushed in my hand because I'm looking down like,
What did
oh
you
my god,
do?
what a
Steven?
tonic!
Did
Boom.
they-
Run away.
Did they replace it?
Oh, I got the fuck out of there. I have no idea what. I have no
would've
idea if they
ran.
would have. I was so embarrassed,
would've
but it
sprinted.
was so funny because there was a third of my smoothie just like blood splattered all over.
Did
the
you watch The
glass.
Chair Company? Tim Robinson's.
No, I gotta watch The Chair Company.
Oh, when he walks through the glass.
I'm imagining the way that it's shot in the pilot when he sits in the chair and it breaks.
Oh,
just
that.
like
I
the
haven't
most
seen it, and I'm-
traumatic. That's like the inciting incident of the show. Is
Oh,
he
that's
sits
great.
on a chair that breaks in front of the whole company, and
I
then
haven't-
he decides to
I'm
investigate the
thinking
chair
of
company.
the
I haven't
glass,
seen it, but
because in
it's.
Chair Company he doesn't walk through glass, but it's friendship. He walks through glass.
Oh yeah, that's great. He is such an indelible physical performer that I can picture it perfectly, and I'm laughing in recognition as if I've already seen this thing. I got to start The Chair Company
Fantastic.
now that I'm caught up to season 2 on The Pit. I
Hell
might
yeah,
have a little
you
extra
finished
time.
I'm not caught up.
Well, I guess I'm not caught up yet. I'm catching up. I'm on season 2 now. I'm still 5 episodes behind.
Okay,
Did I
so
say
what are
caught
your
up? I meant
thoughts?
I'm caught up to season 2, but I
To
still have
season
several
2,
episodes
okay.
to watch.
'Cause I
Did you
stopped
like how
watching
Dr.
season 2.
Michelle Collins is sent home? They tell her to turn her phone off, and she does.
She just never comes back.
She just never comes back.
Even for the shooting, she's like, I'm clocking
I
out.
turned
She's
to
in the
Mark.
bath.
I turned to Mark when all the doctors went to have a beer at the park afterwards, and I said, Dr. Collins never came back. She really had her phone off the whole time. She was
Yeah.
having a glass of Chardonnay in the tub.
Yep.
How bad does she
For
feel
4
the next
hours.
morning? Yeah,
So what did you think of
the smoothie was really good.
the movie?
The smoothie.
Oh. I was like, the
That's what her-
pit's
No, what were we talking about?
Well, I was going to ask you what you thought of the rest of the pit.
I thought it was great. I kept thinking about something that somebody said, but about maybe it wasn't even on mic, but just how much happens on that day, and
That's okay. That's what I said. I'm like, that's a bit much.
but I have to say I'm in the most annoying way that defender who will jump basically to the defense of any movie or television show that I like
it's
is a difference.
okay.
If I don't like it, I won't respond in this way. It's a pretty clear binary test. But I do
Yeah.
like the pit, which is that. But it did happen on that day, and that's why the episode's about this day.
That's
Because
right.
if it was about another,
Exactly.
because if it was about another day, nothing
about
would have
another-
happened.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And I just have to accept that was the day. That
Right,
was
but when
their
I'm watching-
days. But it's also their first day. I mean, come on.
But it's always going to be someone's first day.
It was like all
in
of
the
their first
pit.
But Brandon, again, this is what's so interesting about this one day. All these things happened, and it was also their first day. Isn't that incredible?
Just
What
It's
an
incredible!
day.
drama, though, Brandon. That's the history of the written word. Is that they write
I think
things for a heightened.
I think what runs counterintuitive for me is that the show is so realistic in like the minutia of the medical that like I'm like,
Yeah.
no, their day should have been boring.
And
irritated.
it's like
Hey, there's no boring days at the pit.
all of these people had their first day on the anniversary of the day that the old doctor had died, and
The
they were
massacre at
shooting
the
on
music
that
festival,
And
and
she
the
got clocked in
beloved
the face.
beloved children's performer died. And she got clocked in the face. Dana Evans, guard for the Las Vegas Aces,
And there were
attending
rats.
nurse.
day, and the rats.
And oh my God, when that journalist had the rats on him, and he was like, "There's
Fantastic.
rats here," and the doctors were like, "We need to up his psych meds.
He's
Let's get the glucose up
hallucinating.
on this much." I'm
I like
all right,
that
okay, so
actor,
I'm.
his last name is Kirby. We're not
Hey.
related.
I love all Kirby's. All Kirby's innocent.
That's right.
All Kirby's go to heaven.
So wait, Brandon, you
I-
said that you
No, I don't need
you
to say
stopped
that.
watching
two.
season 2. You're gonna wait to binge it. Is that what you were saying?
Me? Yes.
Yes.
I can't. I need to be on the shift with them. No breaks.
You need to clock in.
Yeah.
I can't with their cliffhangers.
I
That
was
is an- that
thinking
is
just
an
this past
interesting idea.
episode that because I watched the first season, it had already aired, and I was watching like one episode a night, maybe two
That's
at that
good.
pace.
That's my cadence.
And this season does feel different that I'm watching it week by week.
I'm waiting. I can't do it. I need to be
Well-
clocked in.
Maybe I should take advantage of the fact that right now I do have 5 more episodes in the queue, so I'll have like a half and half season. I'll get to enjoy half of the season compulsively
strategy.
watching, clocking in on the shift.
I'm paused
And then the rest
to
I'll do week by
enjoy
week.
industry. Daniel, are you an
Oh,
industry?
yeah. I
You're a
haven't
long time
watched.
industry fan. I've never watched it, but I thought
Same.
that the woman from the posters for season 3 was denied a Best Supporting Actress conversation for Black Bag.
The woman
Marissa
from the
Abela?
post-
Yes.
Oh, Amy Winehouse.
Yes.
Mi-
Amy Winehouse.
Miss Amy Winehouse herself. I thought that she was
very good
extraordinary
in
in
Black
Black Bag.
Bag.
I'm not. She's on my ballot. I'm not saying that everybody needs to nominate her, but I think she was denied a conversation. That's all I know about
Didn't
industry.
she win
that
an
she's in it.
award for industry in a surprise, like a Globe or a SAG?
I don't think anyone on
You mean the
industry
actor awards?
has ever been nominated.
I swear
Fact
she
check
won something
that.
in a moment of surprise. I'm going to.
Was it a British award?
It might have been like maybe it was like the BAFTA TV award. Her name
BAFTA
Marissa Abela or something.
I
Yeah.
bet
her
overseas
name.
they're awarding it, but not in
So
America.
Brandon, can you give the pitch to listeners and myself who don't really know what it
industry?
is, except that it's just vaguely
She did
about
win a BAFTA
business?
award last year.
It was
for
BAFTA.
leading
There you go.
actress in a
Makes sense.
television show.
What I know,
Industry-
it's 30-somethings doing business, and it's sexy, and there's
Yes,
backstabbing, and it's
it kind of
competitive. That's all I know.
starts with a London investment banking, but then it kind of, in the way that Succession, it's very Succession. Like the way I can explain it is like it's Succession's slutty stepsister. It's like
Cool. You sound like
I'll
Naomi
put it
Watts
in
in Lord
terms of
Divorce.
the pit, actually, is
Okay.
we're following the floor of a British Wall Street. I don't know what they call it there.
that's
Wall
season
Street,
one.
ain't it?
And two.
Yes. Yeah.
By
And it's like we're
seasons 3 and
following
4
the new interns
Yeah.
in the early seasons, and
Yeah.
then that have all
Very the
started
pit.
at the same time, and they're hungry and they don't want to get fired, and they're making money moves. And Lena Dunham directed the pilot, so that's why I initially watched it.
Yeah.
I knew
And-
Dunham was involved.
And the way the show evolves is very impressive because, like, what Ben is describing is seasons 1 and 2, but then by seasons 3 and 4, it's a whole new world. It's like, I love the way the show evolves.
Interesting. And we're going to see how Euphoria evolves this year, too, right? Isn't it finally back?
No,
Are you a Euphoria viewer, Brandon?
no, I don't participate.
Ben
in
is.
that
I
program.
love Euphoria.
Look
I
at
love
Ben
it.
lighting up.
It's going to be wild. I don't even want to speculate, but it's going to be really wild
I
to
don't
see season
participate.
3 after 5 years off.
It has been 7
adults.
years since these kids started high school.
7? Oh, yeah.
From season
They're
1,
adults.
right? Wasn't it 2019
oh,
season
yeah.
1?
Yeah, I guess. Jesus. Yeah.
Aren't
I'm
they
looking it up right
pushing
now.
30 in
Yeah,
this new
2019.
season?
They are
Well,
all
they're
30
not
years
going to
old
be
now.
like college freshmen. My understanding is, and again, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong on this. I think that there's going to be an explanation for the time jump, or just it'll be
Right.
remarked
sure.
upon. But I miss Alexa Demi on my screen. I want her
too.
back, and I've had to wait far too long.
Can you believe the stars that show has launched? What a program.
What a program.
Did anyone see
Sydney
Hunter
Sweeney.
Schafer in Cuckoo?
No, I
Yes.
didn't.
Good movie.
I thought-
Well, no, bad
Well,
movie, but
no, but a
they're-
really fun movie, right?
fun.
I did not think it was a very good movie. I had a blast.
I don't think I
watching
was
it.
having fun either.
I had a lot
I
of
think
fun
I was staring
watching
at
it.
it dead faced.
Oh, I had a blast. Mostly because Hunter Schafer is both taking it seriously and having a little bit of fun with it.
Hunter's fantastic in it.
Yeah, she's great in that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Cuckoo.
It's
That's
cuckoo, baby.
Man,
Ben?
HBO's back this January. Can you believe it?
What does that mean?
Euphoria,
Euphoria?
industry.
Oh, but it's
The Pit.
February.
We have, oh,
What do you mean?
I literally don't even know what the date is. It's January to me.
When I was at the dentist the other day, I
HBO's
signed my name and I dated like February 2nd, 2025. I'm still doing that. Like I feel
Oh.
like we all do it for the first couple weeks of the new year,
No,
but
I'm doing
I'm
it
stuck
for the
in
whole
month 2.
year.
I'm still going.
And
2026
The whole year
look.
it's 25.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to open a whole conversation on time passing, but isn't it crazy that so much time
Train
has
Dreams now on
passed?
Netflix.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Since COVID specifically, which maybe we talked about with the pit, but
we did.
That
The time
been
difference-
6 years.
this is so trite, and I feel like everybody is saying some version of this every day now. But let's pretend it's March, it's February, but let's say it's March. So COVID lockdown was 6 years ago. That's like saying that March 2014 was the same distance between COVID lockdown and then like 6 years back.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
And then isn't
Yeah.
that wild?
I don't like that.
I mean, time
Take
has
it
really
back.
stopped.
Stop.
That's really not something that I want to consider.
Yeah.
I don't wanna-
Again,
I don't wanna
I'm
think
gonna
about
I'm gonna
that.
keep threatening. We're gonna do time passes from Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse, Part 2.
You're
on
welcome
one of these
to.
episodes.
Yeah.
We're waiting for it.
It's your
Well, I'm trying
topics.
because we're doing some other light reading between now and then.
Some other light
I'm
reading.
I'm gonna wait.
Light
And
reading,
also-
Wuthering Heights.
so for me, it's gonna be some light listening because I'm reading this Clint Eastwood
Yeah.
biography, which I'm loving. And I, found
Wuthering
out that
Heights is an audiobook choice. I'm
it's
attempting to read
the
it.
kind of book that I would prefer to read analog. But I found
I
a version
showed you
where
my
Janet
beautiful
McTeer
copy I bought.
Does the dialogue or does the narration? And because of Janet McTeer's storied history on this podcast, it just felt kind of perfect to listen to that.
Oh, she does the. Oh, fantastic.
Janet McTeer does the narration.
Hope
That's
she-
wonderful.
What's that sound?
Dumpster
What's
drugs.
that, what's that sound?
Love
But
it.
actually, more on that later when we get to 9.
When we get to Albert Nobbs featured on this episode.
I would love to rewatch Albert Nobbs.
What? Yeah. What do they call Wall Street
my
in
topic.
Britain? Albert Nobbs is what they call Wall Street in Britain.
She works for the firm of Albert Nobbs.
Albert Nobbs and
Janet
partners.
McTeer just walking around commanding the floor.
Albert Nobbs and Son.
Yes. and Janet McTeer. What was Janet McTeer's character's name in Albert Nobbs?
I'm seeing now it was Jug Dumper #1. She was nominated. She was nominated for an Academy Award.
That's
I
right.
still have the Facetune of her saved in my phone.
I do too. With the teeth. Was
The
she
teeth are
on
like
Ozark?
way out.
The buck teeth. Let's laugh about an inside joke. No one has any idea what we're talking about.
I know.
The
She
ones who
plays
know.
Hubert Page.
Allegedly. So
Allegedly.
was Ozark on when we were recording the podcast before? Because I would like to know whether
No.
she was on Ozark playing like cunty,
No.
severe
I'm
business
pretty sure
fiction.
that
She's on
started in
Ozark?
2020.
No way.
Maybe
Really?
2018 or 19, but I'm pretty sure Ozark started in 2020.
God, I'll do a
I need to
quick
watch
fact
Ozark.
check on that.
But yes, she
you
is
do
on
and you
Ozark.
don't. It started in 2017, but she doesn't
shit.
come on until. But she doesn't come on until season 2 or 3, I think. So
That's true.
It's possible.
Oh,
I was not
Branding?
watching it while
Did
we
you
were
see my
talking.
shirt?
about
Cool
it.
shirt. Brandon, do you want to describe your shirt for anyone who's not watching
Oh,
video?
right. If you're not viewing, it's Agnes Varda
Cute.
from the
She's got a little
Cinema Le
camcorder.
Mans, which I've never attended in Detroit.
Great.
That's
Why don't you
Is that-
attend while you're there? In Michigan.
Because I barely can move.
Fair enough.
Like Brendan Fraser in The Whale, I can't move.
That reminds me of
another
something
topic in a
that
future
Richard
episode of-
Linklater said when I saw him at the Cannes Film Festival last year. Is he talks to young people and he'll ask them like, "Have you been to this new theater yet?" And they'll say no, and he'll just be like, "Well, you don't want it bad enough." That's Richard
You
Linklater's
don't
perspective
want it bad
on you.
enough. Like Resurrection was playing at the DIA, and I fully intended to go, and then I just didn't. I didn't want it bad enough.
You
R.I.P.
didn't want it bad enough.
I am. Sorry, I have to do this on mic, but I am planning to go see Sinners in 70mm at the Vista tonight. Speaking of
Oh, shit.
attending the movie theater,
Oh,
and
Do you need to
I
double check
just
the time?
I
Yeah.
do, and
Don't be
it's,
late.
and this is what I was worried about. It's actually not playing today.
Huh?
Okay, all
What
right.
is
Anyway,
playing
we can
today?
keep going. So I'll
Maybe they're
figure
having
that
an
out
event,
off
an Academy
mic.
event.
Maybe I'll
Which
go
the
Wednesday.
Academy is no longer doing theatrical screenings post nominations anymore. They announced today.
They're locked
Wait.
down.
What do you mean?
They are.
What do you mean?
They will no. The Academy will no longer be hosting screenings after the nominations because
Oh, like
past-
there won't be
they're
any
busy?
Academy-hosted screening.
yeah.
Got it. Well, and that's what
Because-
the platform's for.
They say the last few years after nominations, the screenings get an average of 5 persons.
Everyone's
Get those numbers up to 8 if they'd open it to the
Yeah.
public.
Yeah.
They don't
So-
want to go. They're pooping.
Well,
from watching
that's
the
actually
screeners.
really sad to me because
It is sad, but
I'm
I get why
I'm
they
s-
would do it given those
Sure.
numbers, but it is sad.
I'm certainly pro the online portal because I think that's how you do get something like If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You is able to grab more traction
Yeah.
with these voters because it's not about the random Academy hosted screening or the random showtime that they can get to, but it's right there, and they read that she was really good in it. So I'm pro
They can
that.
just fire it
but
up.
it is kind of sad that the portal is likely responsible to some extent why no
For
one is going to
that.
those screenings anymore.
It's true.
Anyway,
It is true.
I'm not an Academy voter, so it doesn't really matter to me one way or another.
mean,
I wish you well, Academy
have an
voters.
opinion.
I wish you well.
Good luck.
It's
Good luck
It's good
to
to
the
have an opinion
Academy.
on everything. Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
I'd like to say thank you
Should
to
we-
the Academy for making me think about it.
Ben, what's your topic?
Yes.
Should we introduce the show?
Introduce the show.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Hello. This is Movies
Hi.
IMO. I'm Ben MP.
Hello. I'm Daniel Crook.
I'm Brandon Kirby.
And this is Movies IMO, back from the grave.
Yes.
We are three film faggots who, I really hit that, faggots.
Good. Hard G. Hard G.
Yeah, hard
Wow.
G.
This is going to get
Who
banned.
every week we come together and talk about things that we've been watching or reading or doing, and we each come to the table with a topic. What was funny
What have you been
about
doing
that?
this week? I've been getting up to some trouble.
My topic is telling you about my 9 to 5 next time.
Yep. This can just be therapy.
It
Yeah,
is
and there's that.
therapy.
It is therapy. It really is. So we'll start.
I was saying to my
this week.
I was saying to my therapist the other day. Did I say this on mic? I was talking about how stressful it is to have this podcast back because it has to go in. Well, because it has to like go into the ether, and I hate knowing that
It's
like
supposed to
things
be
that we
iconic.
say are gonna go out into the world. But my therapist was like, "Oh, you don't enjoy the process of making it?" I was like, "It's the greatest joy of my life making it. Like I love doing it. I just hate that we have to share it." Speaking
I no
of
longer
therapy
think
and
about
podcasts.
once we hit published. It's not in my thoughts anymore.
It's not my
Ben,
problem.
Ben, that's how I feel as well. But in the week before we publish,
You're stressed.
I'm stressed.
If
And
someone-
then
We'll have
and
to
then
work
I don't
on
really give a
that.
shit.
Yeah.
I am working on it. I am working.
We'll
on
work
it.
through that together. It's
Together
a team.
on microphone
As part of this
right.
therapy session.
behind the paywall.
That's right.
That could be an interesting behind the paywall option.
Talk
Is
about
that
our
we just
trauma.
post
Group,
therapy
group
sessions?
therapy. Group therapy.
Join the Patreon for our group therapy session.
Where we're going to talk about Warren Beatty's Reds and my problem with my mother.
That sounds like a great topic.
I don't have a problem with my mother, by the way. But you're going to have to listen to behind the paywall to find out for sure.
Yeah.
You could
Don't give it away.
Yeah,
don't
sorry.
give it
Oops,
away.
no spoilers. I'm unresolved. I'm unresolved. Sorry.
Ben, what's
go
your
ahead.
topic?
Today, we will be talking first about William Wyler's 1946 motion picture, The Best Years of Our Lives.
Great.
I chose this film because it's been on my mind lately. I don't know. I've really wanted to rewatch it for the past couple months. It played at the Academy, and I couldn't go in like November.
That would be great.
And it's a movie that I watch every couple years, and it fills me with like a very comforting kind of sadness. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like it's a very easy watch. It's just domestic melodrama, but it like undergirds something very deep and very sad about the post-war American experience. And this was both of your first time watching it.
Yes,
Get
and
my
I've
hair
been,
back.
been meaning to watch it for years. And so when you said that you were thinking about it as a topic, I
Yeah.
leapt for joy.
As I said last week, I decided to watch it because I've been reading Sam Goldwyn biography off and on for the last year, and the book is like quite a joy. It's really densely written, but a very easy read. It's just I'll read a chapter, and then like as I digest it, suddenly a month has gone by. Is why it has taken me so long to read it. But he really. Let's talk about Sam Goldwyn. I think. Does everyone in the world still know who Sam Goldwyn is or was?
I think that there's
Do you
probably
guys
a lot
know?
of listeners. I know who Samuel Goldwyn is in the abstract. I imagine you know a
Yeah,
lot more,
more
having read this
abstract.
biography. But why don't you give us beyond the headline?
Yeah. Sam Goldwyn, he's the G of MGM, and he was also one of the founders of Paramount. And he was a short, angry little man who no one really liked. And
Great.
he kept founding companies and then getting fired from companies because no one liked him. And he was the first sort of major independent producer in Hollywood. And he would make these movies and strike distribution deals. So I decided to read this biography in the first place because I was reading a couple years ago Cameron Crowe did an interview book with Billy Wilder before Billy Wilder's death, and Cameron Crowe asked him, relevant to this podcast, Cameron Crowe asked, asked Billy, who is the best producer you ever worked with? And he said, Sam Goldwyn is the best producer that Hollywood has ever had. And the thing that people really respect about Sam Goldwyn is that he got the things made, and he had like impeccable taste, and he was able to work at like a slower pace than like a Louis B. Mayer. He wasn't making like 100 movies at a time. It was like, we are now producing this one movie, which we will all work on for the next 6 months, and then we will all move on together to the next project. And so the best years of our lives started with, we're going to do like You Must Remember This right now. I'm just going to get into the whole thing.
Do it. I want to know.
Welcome.
It started in like 1944, I think. His wife read like a Time or Life magazine article about soldiers who were starting to come back from the front and struggling to get back to real life. And Sam was like, no one wants to see a movie about that. That's not interesting. But then as time went on, he started to realize maybe that would be interesting, mainly because his own son went to war. And then he saw how his son, who was Tony Goldwyn's father, Tony Goldwyn of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, One Battle After Another fame. He's having a moment right now. He's the head honcho bad guy, sort of, in One Battle. But so Sam Goldwyn was always struggling to like make stars from the people he had on contract. And so he saw this as an opportunity to use his latest find, Virginia Mayo, who plays the floozy wife. He had Dana Andrews was a contract player for him, and so was Teresa Wright. And then Myrna Loy and Friedrich March he just hired. Friedrich March, I think, called him and was like, I want to be a part of this thing that you're doing. And William Wyler was also a contract. This was the last movie that William Wyler did with Sam Goldwyn, and he vowed never to work with him again because he hated him.
Because he was short and angry.
They all hated each other, but they all made really good movies together.
Did he produce
fantastic
Mrs. Miniver
picture.
as well?
No, that was a loan out, and it really pissed Goldwyn off that Willie won Oscars for it.
And so he said, we're going to need you to run this thing back and win Best Picture 2 movies in a row.
Yep.
And this time
Yeah.
I'll win it.
And he did. And when this movie came out, it was, at the time, the second highest grossing movie of all time after Gone with the
Wow.
Wind. It was just like an absolute sensation. It won Harold Russell 2 Academy Awards for the same performance, which has never happened before or since.
They invented one.
They were so sure that he would lose Best Supporting Actor that they just gave him one so that he could have an Oscar, and then he
Can we
still
look
won
up-
Best Supporting Actor.
Can we look up the other nominees in that category just to see who they were so
Yeah.
scared
So they
of?
gave him like an honorary one, and then he won anyway.
Yes.
That's insane.
Okay, so Harold Russell wins Best Supporting Actor, of course, famously for this movie. Charles Coburn is nominated for a film called The Green Years. William Demarest is nominated for The Jolson Story. Clifton Webb is nominated for The Razor's Edge. And then I wonder if they were worried that Claude Rains was going to win for Notorious. Because otherwise, I mean, of course, hindsight is 20/20, especially with 80 years between this ceremony and
The
now. But it
Razor's
seems like
Edge
Harold
was-
Russell was always going to win that.
This is what I learned in the book. The Razor's Edge was considered the favorite going into the Oscar ceremony for every category, simply because, they used to tell the employees, vote for our movie, and Fox was the biggest studio that year, like in terms of numbers. So everyone just thought everyone's going to vote for the Fox movie because their boss told them to. And then
And it appears that it was adapted from W. Somerset Maugham, The Razor's Edge. It's another 2.5 hour.
I've seen it, and I don't even
appears.
remember that. Anne Baxter won her Oscar for it.
Daryl Zanuck. Interesting. Okay. So
And
the best
then-
years of our lives went into that ceremony not expected to take everything.
Correct. And
Wow.
fascinatingly, as I read in this book, of the 4 acting awards were the last 4 wins of the night. Like, they did all the way through director and picture before they got to supporting actor and actress, which is very interesting to me.
Interesting.
Because
Yeah.
obviously a couple years ago they did do lead actor and lead actress after Best Picture, but they in 1946, I know,
did it that one
was a
time.
dark. They did it the one time and it backfired.
Anthony
Never
Hopkins. But I love that Soderbergh did it. We can talk about it another time, but it's a classic Soderberghian touch for how to finish a movie.
And so
As you were.
it won 7 Oscars, plus the honorary, plus they gave Goldwyn the Irving Thalberg Award that year. So they would put on posters that the movie won 9 Oscars, more than Gone with the Wind.
Wow.
They would
Love a
lie.
loophole.
They would
Now,
lie.
I guess you could say that Christoph Waltz has won 2 Oscars for the same performance. Yuck, 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 yuck.
That's true.
True.
Well, I would love to talk about it because I was really moved by the movie. And
Yes, let's talk about
sort
the
of-
actual artistry of the film.
I mean, when you're
It's-
saying that the Goldwyn biography is densely written but an easy read, I feel like you could apply that same description to the best years of our lives, because there's so much going on in that film in terms of its social study, its psychological studies of each individual guy, the ways they conceive themselves, the way they have to perform for others, and then of course just the role of the changing American psyche. But the way that it is staged is just, you know exactly what is happening in like you could watch it with the sound off. It's one of those movies,
Right.
and you would know exactly what is happening based on the way that William Wyler is moving the actors through the frame, and then the way that Greg Toland, who are you fucking kidding me? Like,
There's the very famous scene after Friedrich March tells Dana Andrews he has to break things off with Teresa Wright, and they're at the bar, and there's Harold Russell is playing chopsticks on the piano in the foreground, and then in the back, Dana Andrews goes over to the phone booth, and and he calls her, and you don't have to hear what he's saying, and it's all in deep focus at once. It's very extraordinarily choreographed.
And I don't want to be a hot take machine, but I do think that the deep focus cinematography in this is as good, if not better, than in Citizen Kane. Like I might have to point to this as my favorite. I think we'll go favorite versus best. But I think
Definitely
that
favorite.
I mean the scene in the airplane graveyard, which is sort of an interesting riff on Gone with the Wind, if you think about it. Is stunning, and just the way that Dana Andrews is captured in Teresa Wright's rearview mirror after she drops him off for the second time. And this speaks just as much to Wyler's direction, but the scene when Frederick March comes home and you've got the kids in the foreground of the shot, and then he walks back to meet Myrna Loy in the back of the frame as they embrace.
Yeah.
In terms of just how you utilize the whole frame, speaking of Soderbergh. I just think it's masterful. And I didn't know that Greg Toland shot this, and so when I saw his name in the credits, I did do the leaning forward meme. I was paying attention. I was paying attention. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was really good.
I thought it was really good. Feels like a tight 90 for a 3-hour movie. I mean, that movie it cruises. I mean, you don't realize how much time has passed. You're just watching these people.
Yeah,
It just moves.
like it's a good hour 15, and it's still like the first night that they got home.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say.
It moves leisurely, but quickly at the same. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense, but
Well, all the scenes do have a lot of breathing room, I think.
Yeah.
It speaks to there's a naturalism to the film in its acting style, which I imagine was perceived as quite radical for the time. The film is not, I don't think it achieves documentary realism necessarily,
No.
but it doesn't feel stage bound in a way that I think is really striking. And it's not necessarily a movie that is overflowing with location shooting. A lot of it is in interiors, in bedrooms, which were obviously, or I imagine, were sets on a soundstage. But there is something about the way, and drugstores, of course.
love that.
I love that
drugstore.
it's just like we're in a bar, we're in
Domestic
an apartment, we're in
American
a house,
settings.
Yes.
We're in a house under a bridge. We're in a nice
Also,
house. Yeah, it's very.
Why is the drugstore guy doing poppers in that scene? What the hell is he sniffing?
Well, because he had a date later and was getting
Seriously,
had a
what is he
cold.
huffing?
he had a cold.
that. Yeah,
It's
that's
like
the type of cold
it's like a
medicine.
nose spray.
It's like
better get that cold
You
Clears
can
you
still
up.
get any sort of nose spray for when you're congested.
That guy is such a bastard, though. When he's
I
like,
just
"Well,
love that
the
detail
war's
in the
over,
scene.
son."
He's just sniffing. He's just stuffed
He
up.
was doing
The
his
scene,
poppers.
the first night when the two men get rip roaring drunk, I was surprised at the direction the movie went because I wasn't expecting the level of empathy from like the daughter, Peggy, right, and the wife. Like I thought they would have been like, oh, they're drunk again. Oh, they're
Right.
blah blah. Like I thought it was gonna go that route. And when it didn't, and when Peggy was like showing empathy when he was having like the night terror, and it just, that's when I knew. I was like, oh, this is like, it felt ahead of his time. I don't know.
It doesn't
Yeah.
feel formulaic in its character relationships
Yes.
at all.
Yeah,
And
like
it's more than
it
just zigging when you expect it
subverts.
to zag. Yeah,
Yeah.
And
but
there's
it's also
with the Virginia Mayo character, there's a little bit of this, but with Myrna Loy and Teresa Wright, there's no like fabricated drama. I guess there's, I mean,
No.
there's the
Yeah.
marital affair situation, but as far as the situation with the people coming home from war, it's not like they don't understand that they have been to battle and they are
Right.
trying to figure out how to pick up their lives and move
And that
forward.
surprised me, the level of empathy for that. I thought they'd be like, well, like the floozy wife who like doesn't get it. She's like, wow, what's wrong with you?
well, one of the, cause so much of the movie is exploring this gulf of understanding between the people who were at war and the people who were at home. And I think one of the questions it's raising around their different experiences is around like who had the more, I don't want to use the word holistic, but the more like full view of what had just happened over the preceding years. All the soldiers are constantly pointing out, like, I didn't see any combat. I was in the bottom of a submarine, or I was stationed here. I didn't know anything about that. Whereas everyone in America is getting every news report, every bulletin update about the nuclear, or like about the bomb going off, about like, I mean, the newsreels they're seeing before movies, which are summing up the different battles that are happening across the theater. And they in the first act, especially, I feel like they're asking the soldiers for their thoughts and opinions on things that they've witnessed in like, probably in newsreels about the war, and they're all like, that wasn't my experience at all.
Wasn't
And so
part of my
everybody's
life.
everybody's traumatized, and everybody is having to step into a new world, which is what I love about the duration of this film. I think the fact that it's 3 hours long speaks to how it's not interested in tidy, easy answers around the psychological conditions of its characters. It's very much in this gray area of people having to ditch an old reality and step into a new one. But for the soldiers, there's the additional level of, I just think about the scene when they're in the car driving to their homes and you see the shots out the window of what were probably familiar sights once upon a time, whether it's the drugstore or mailmen. But it's been, 5 years or however many years since the last time they were there. And so it looks the same, and yet you get the sense that none of it is the same for them.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was amazing. I just thought it was great.
Same.
The,
I thought it rocked.
It was
the-
pretty good.
I think a lesser movie would take the Friedrich March story in a much darker direction in terms of his alcoholism
Sure.
and
Yes.
what
Yeah,
that's doing
yeah.
to him, what that's doing
Dramatize
to
that
his
more.
family. Yes, but instead, it's just a layer of his experience coming
Yes.
home. Is
And
that
that's what
he doesn't
surprised
know
me.
how to function. Yeah, and it's just it's
Well,
there.
But
He
it
has
doesn't.
that-
It could have. You're right. It could have been way more dramatic, but that's not this movie's goal.
I think
And
he's the one who
that's what
says it.
shocked me.
But there's that devastating line of like, last year all they wanted me to do was kill the Japanese. Now this year it's all about making money. Like there's something brutal about that too, in terms of these people have been used as instruments of a nation's agenda, And when they come home, they're thanked for about 5 seconds by everyone who's not their family or Virginia Mayo, who is irredeemable. Even though, of course, I do have empathy for her. She was trying to live a life.
She was.
But she wanted to have fun. She wanted to go out.
She wanted to have fun.
What happened to
Her
fun?
husband is home.
What happened to
She wants
fun?
to party. Whatever happened to fun?
So bored I could die.
Forgot where I was. But they're still being used as, just to sum it up, they're still being used as pawns for the country.
no,
But
exactly.
now, as either he's the soda jerk that is a low income, I'm using air quotes, low skill position
Right.
that is is categorized as such so they can pay you no money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they tell you that it's in service of the same American project, and it is. Except one. Well, I talking about which one has more dignity is a complicated question, obviously. Thank you for your service. But the idea that being of service to your country is the highest thing you can do as a citizen. And then as soon as they get back from war, they're told that what that actually means is turning down bank loans for veterans.
Right.
Or going back to your old job because you don't have any real skills. And so this is where you have to be of service.
Yeah, when he's sniffing those poppers and he's like, well, what skills do you have? And he's like, I drop bombs.
Yeah.
I have good aim with bombs. Like, what do you want from me? I fucking was forced to drop bombs.
And 6 months ago, you were calling me a hero for it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And now you're a skillless.
I mean, the very first scene in the movie is we're watching a wealthy man purchase a plane ticket.
Yes.
And who are we with at that point? Dana
Oh,
Andrews
yes.
or Friedrich?
We're with Dana Andrews, I believe.
And he
Yes.
can't get a flight home.
He can't get home,
because they're already starting to wind down, making sure the veterans get home. They're like,
They're
we're
shoving
going to
them
wash
to a
our
second
hands of
place.
this. Yeah.
But again,
like,
I mean,
who
it goes
cares?
back to the incredible direction in that first 5 minutes at the
all
airport when you're watching that
spelled
scene.
Mm-hmm.
What are you seeing? You're seeing servicemen who are trying to go home. What are you not seeing? Priority treatment, any sort of measure of respect for their service. And then this rich guy comes up, and I think that the wonderful cherry on top of the exchange is when the attendant says that his baggage is overweight and he'll have to pay an extra fee, and he's like, "That's
And he's just
fine.
like yeah.
No, sure, of course,
Yeah.
whatever."
Yeah.
Now
I think it's important.
Now he's
to
the main
point-
character in the American story.
Right, is the money.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
just
the
think
guy
it's
who can
important to
afford
point
it.
out this movie came out at the end of 1946.
Yeah.
The war ended over a year ago now. And so it's like a lot of
still fresh.
servicemen were still out in Europe and Asia in the rebuilding process. But in the public consciousness, the war was over. And so that's why we're getting this moment of like, all of these guys are trying to get home. Whereas if it was August 1945, it's priority number one for every airline to get our boys home. And now it's just we're getting back to business as usual already.
Yeah.
I had really wanted to watch Mrs. Miniver before we recorded, but there's only so much time in the day. Just to compare that film's approach to the beginning of a war versus this film's approach to the end of a war and how soldiers are treated. I was trying to think, and while we're talking about that the film came out so soon after the war ended, other examples of films that capture its subject so much in the present tense. And I guess you could point to like The Hurt Locker, even though that conflict was ongoing at the time. But I truthfully didn't spend a lot of time thinking about it because I was spending too much time thinking about Kate Hudson in 9. But
We're spending too much time thinking about how beautiful Dana Andrews is.
oh,
in
he's
that
he's
soda
so
jerk
hot.
outfit.
Too.
You can jerk me around any day.
Hell yeah.
How about that incredible scene where that Nazi is sitting there at the soda fountain? That feels very brave to put into your film 1 year after World War II has ended.
Probably. Yeah.
To reflect that American sentiment. I mean, I feel like now people know this, but I certainly didn't know this until the last 5 or 6 years, but that there was so much pro-Nazi sentiment in America leading up to the American involvement in World War II. Like, and not just support for like an anti-Semitic cause, but folks who wanted to duplicate what Hitler was doing in America. And there were entire apparatuses through media, through elected officials trying to get effectively either pro-Nazi propaganda or Nazi-type domestic policy into
Sounds
the
like
mainstream.
right now.
No, it is. It is. That's why people talk about it now, because there's an unfortunate, to say the least, rhyme in American history there. But I had not seen, and of course that character is not expressing 100% what I'm saying right this second. Yeah. But I was shocked and impressed to include that viewpoint in I've never seen that viewpoint expressed in a contemporaneous account of or like of a film coming through the States anyway. After World War II.
And I would think that
I was shocked
it's
by
because the war was over and because they had lost that someone like Sam Goldwyn feels comfortable putting that in the movie itself. Otherwise, it would be too dangerous to include.
Ahead of its time.
Because a lot of the studio heads really were uncomfortable touching on the point of anti-Semitism during the war because they didn't want to be seen as taking a side.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right, because they are all Jewish.
If anyone out there has not read Five Came Back, that's the name of Mark Harris. It's great. I haven't read it now in 10 plus years, but does a great job of talking about the climate in Hollywood leading into the American involvement in World War II vis-a-vis, we're not here to pick sides. And the trouble that some filmmakers got into trying to pursue projects that had a anti-Nazi agenda, and which studio heads were more willing to engage or indulge in that type of project than others. So in that way, like, this felt like I've obviously known about this film for a long time, and there are a number of classics that I still haven't seen because I am saving them for a rainy day, and that's why I hadn't seen this one, and why I was so grateful that you brought it up as a topic, because it forced me to watch it immediately. But I do feel like a big gap in my understanding of Hollywood in the World War II time period, like, has been filled, just because this is pointed to so often as the film that summarizes the soldier's experience in coming home. But it's not didactic at all, and not that I was expecting it to be, because everyone I trust who's seen it loved this movie. But it really, that it is so much more interested in, like, psychological portraiture is fascinating to me. Like the Homer scene in the garage with that poor girl who just wants to take care of him.
She just wants to love him.
She just wants to love him, and he's shooting a gun. I think he's doing target practice.
Yeah.
And going back to Greg Toland, the shot that punctuates the scene with his hook breaking through the window, and the camera is right on the other side of the glass, and it creates this sort of fractured portrait of him. That's so intense, and
it is really intense.
He's obviously not. Harold Russell is such a hero in this film and in real life, of course, and the film doesn't present him as anything but that. But it also presents him as human first, and it's a very interesting portrayal in that the way that he presents as outwardly charismatic and in on the joke. Kind of like making the joke about his hands before someone else can, and then he's just so utterly depressed every time you see him by himself. And that
so
the last scene when he's putting on his pajamas is just devastating, and then so beautiful.
Oh, when he shows Oma.
But I mean, all three performances are sublime. I guess.
Did
And
we
Frederick
say
March
what
won
the
Best
movie's
Actor,
about?
right? I feel like we got to it. I feel like we've kind of said what the movie's about.
I said it was based on
introduction.
an article of
Men returning
soldiers
from
coming
war.
home. Yeah.
Yes.
I took some notes. I'm just making sure there's nothing else I wanted to say.
I do have a couple quick tidbits I want to bring
Yep.
up. Number one, Harold Russell in real life could take off and put on his hooks by himself. So that is something that they ramped up for the drama of a film.
That
is
tracks.
that they made his disability worse in the movie than it actually is.
Sure.
Virginia
It's
Mayo
Hollywood, after all.
constantly for the rest of her life liked to joke that William Wyler won his Oscar because of her performance, because if he could get that out of her, then he must be the best director of all time.
That's funny. That's funny.
Really funny. I like
And there was one more thing I was going to say, but I don't remember. But I just love this movie.
I'll say about Virginia Mayo one other thing. She gets the title of the movie.
She
her
does.
Dialogue.
She
And
throws away
I-
the line.
And it's a great line delivery because of how she just throws it away. If you didn't know it was the name of the movie, you never would have guessed that that's where the title is popping up. But
Yep.
but that is where the title pops up. I think really encapsulates how devastating the film is, but also how rich it is with a sense of humanism that I personally find uplifting and life affirming. But she's talking about how she's wasted the best years of her life spending time with Dana Andrews as he's recovering from the war. And there's something so damning and bittersweet about that. Not taking it away from her character, but just the irony of the title. The irony of the title.
I feel like
really
most
really
young
hurts.
people don't know that the title is ironic, and they just they hear there's a movie from 1946 about soldiers coming home that's called The Best Years of Our Lives. They're not going to think that the movie is as genuinely moving and human as it actually is.
That's literally what I thought when I was in film school. Because there's like, I think there's a promotional shot of them where all they're like marching together, like couples or something.
They're so happy.
The best years of my life.
Truly.
Oh, the last thing I wanted to say is that Friedrich March and Myrna Loy have a son who is in one scene and then
Yeah, he's
never
barely
heard
in
from
it.
again.
Well,
and
he's busy. He's
it's,
checking into the pit.
Then I read in the
Working all day.
book that actor, his contract with Sam Goldwyn went up during production of the movie, so they just wrote him out after he shot the scenes that he shot.
That's just good producing. That's
It
good
is just good producing. Like, why bring him back?
that
We got
is
what we
funny.
needed out of him. Yeah.
Yeah, because he never comes back ever.
He doesn't come to the wedding at the end of the movie.
He's got a great scene in the beginning when he's sitting
is
down
a
with
good
Papa,
Yep.
and then he's out of there.
He's out of there. He's got to go to bed. He's got school in the morning.
That is so
That's right.
funny. I didn't even like notice that he never returned.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
Great
I mean,
picture.
it's just more room for Teresa Wright, who was excellent in the film and should have
Yeah.
won an Oscar for this. If only for the line reading, which Brandon, I saw that you put it in your log, so if you want to say it aloud.
Oh, that lit me up. She said, "I'm gonna break up this marriage."
Hell
Come
yeah.
on.
Is that what she said?
And she says, I'm going to break this marriage up.
That's
and she
what
has
it is.
and she
I
has a
had it
southern
in
accent
reverse.
in the film. She speaks
Yep.
like a cowboy for all 2 hours and
Yep.
45 minutes. But that happens so late in
I'm
the
gonna break
film.
this
Was
marriage up.
my
Yep.
favorite thing about her saying, I'm going to break this marriage up.
She
Like, it's
just
a little late in the film for that.
but she's raring to go.
Love
She's got to
ready.
do it. She's gotta
She's
do it.
outstanding. She's
Love is love.
outstanding.
She loves that man.
Hashtag love is love.
Love is love. Daniel, do you want to introduce your topic?
Yeah, sure. So, for my topic this week, I wanted to talk about the latest film from one of my favorite filmmakers, Highest to Lowest, directed by Spike Lee. And I wanted to talk about it because I hadn't seen it yet. And I think that's fucking
problem.
nuts. Yeah. When this
That's
when
a
this
problem.
when this movie was announced, I was still on Twitter, and I think what I said when I retweeted the news was because some people were saying, should they really be touching a sacred cow like High and Low? And I think I said, like, if Denzel Washington and Spike Lee decided to remake Bicycle Thieves, it would be the right choice. Like, it is always the right choice when those two are coming together to collaborate on a movie.
And do you feel that way now that you've seen the film?
Well, that's the wrong question. That's
and
the
how
wrong
do you
question.
feel now?
Well, I'll get to my thoughts on the film, which I think is in a word interesting.
I like the picture.
I do
After
too.
the first 45 minutes.
I think what works about the movie is like staggeringly good.
Yes, it's
There's
good
some
and
stuff,
good.
especially
Performance,
in the
obviously.
last. We'll talk about her.
Who, the
Because
wife?
I'll just let me finish this preamble so then we can have some
Yeah,
fun.
sorry.
So,
Sorry.
Highest to Lowest is Spike
uncanny
Lee's latest
acting
film.
ever.
It's a remake of Akira Kurosawa's High and Low, which is the story of a wealthy executive whose son is kidnapped by an unknown kidnapper, holding him for a ransom. There's a clear difference in cast between our protagonist and the perpetrator of this crime, and I don't know, that's basically it. Obviously, as the film goes on, there are twists and turns. We realize it's actually not his son, it's his driver's son who the kidnapper has, and how that complicates the protagonist's relationship to the narrative that he's now the center of is in many ways like one of the great moral quandaries in any movie, in Highest to
Yes.
Lowest specifically. Haven't seen High and Low, so I wouldn't know about that. No, of course, High and Low is like the best. And I almost rewatched
I was like,
it
is that a
for this.
bit? It has to be.
No,
a bit.
it is a bit, and we can talk about why High and Low is such a better movie while we're talking about it. But I wanted to bring this up, and we don't necessarily have to talk about the industry side of this, but I think the reason I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Well, no. We'll talk about. I mean, I think it's. I could think in a word, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think that streaming movies are real.
Yeah.
I have a hard time engaging with them, partly because unless that streamer is working overtime to make sure that film is at the front of their user interface, I'm going to forget about the film. I have not seen House of Dynamite yet, and Catherine Bigelow is a film. I think Spike Lee's a better filmmaker than Catherine Bigelow, but I think Catherine Bigelow is one of the greatest filmmakers of her generation, and so of course I'm interested in seeing her take on the apocalypse, even if most people think it's not very good. That's beside the point. I would like to know what she's up to.
It should have been front page banner, and for me, when I tried to watch House of Dynamite, I had to search it. It was
So that's
not
kind of what I'm
popping
getting
up
at.
in the carousel, and I'm almost certain Highest to Lowest might have been the main banner when I hit play on it, because I hit play on it like opening weekend. But I'm sure they buried it.
But it probably
soon
wasn't
after.
Yeah, it was probably not the home splash page for more than a weekend.
Exactly.
These movies
It becomes
occupy
just part of the library.
These movies occupy different space in my brain, whether that's fair or not. And Killers of the Flower Moon, I saw that in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
The Power of the Dog, I saw that in theaters. The Irishman, I saw that in theaters.
Yeah.
And this is quickly very becoming just sort of like a coastal elitist standpoint, because I imagine many people across the country don't have the opportunity to see those movies theatrically as easily as I do here in Los Angeles. But the only movies that have been released via streaming that really hold in my memory at all, apart from The Other Side of the Wind on Netflix once upon a time, are largely movies that I managed to catch theatrically. And so by not seeing Highest to Lowest theatrically, the movie kind of disappeared for me,
It doesn't
even though
exist
Spike
to
Lee
you.
is one of our most interesting film directors currently working, and we can talk about why that is in Highest to Lowest. But that's basically why I wanted to bring it up, because I needed
The
an excuse to
average
finally watch it.
viewer who may not be able to see these movies theatrically, the data shows that they have the same feeling that streaming movies are not real movies. Like, I think about the Knives Out franchise a lot, right? The first one was a Lionsgate movie, and then it became a Netflix franchise for the sequels.
Yeah.
And Ryan Johnson has talked about both, like, that the sequels would not have the prestige that they have if the first one had not been a theatrical film, but also the theatrical film, the first one, did not have the eyeballs on it that it had until it went to Netflix. So it's like both things need to happen for it to have the widest possible audience in 2026. But it's like you still have to invest in a proper theatrical release for a movie to be treated as real by anyone.
I do think.
And quick follow-up, so really quick, just because I think
Yeah.
that is such an interesting example. I think that Glass Onion versus Wake Up Dead Man, the newest Knives Out movie, had more of a presence, exists more in the public imagination for a couple of reasons. One, it did have like a sneak preview release at AMC's, so it did get some theatrical. But I think what it more was that Netflix knew that they had a contender for Best Supporting Actress and a contender for Best Adapted Screenplay, and so they pumped money in making sure that the ad campaign was reaching people digitally, that it was quickly available to see on the front page of Netflix. Whereas Wake Up Dead Man, because it is so much more
It was not,
ponderous
on the
and
splash.
better, like that movie completely disappeared. Wake Up Dead Man already doesn't exist. How is it that Wake Up Dead
it's
Man
already
is
gone.
a quote movie that doesn't exist?
Yeah.
That is one of the most profound movies about faith and forgiveness that I have seen in the last 10 years.
And it's already just
I thought it
in
was
the
a
library
major.
of
I thought it was a
Netflix.
major movie of last year, and I'm not a big. I mean, I like all the Knives Out movies to some extent, but I don't count myself as a huge quote unquote fan of the series. And I thought Wake Up Dead Man was extraordinary, and Josh O'Connor should have been in the Best Actor conversation. That movie doesn't exist. It overnight in Los Angeles, its presence disappeared. on the sides of buildings and billboards and buses. I don't know if it was ever on a bus, but it did have some strategically placed large scale ads in the city that I think as soon as they realized that like this one was not going to resonate, or they assumed that it wasn't going to resonate in the same way because it is different. It does break a bit from the Knives Out formula.
It is. It's like
that
they
they cut bait and moved on.
Yeah. And to Ben's point, I do think, it's based on what movie they choose, what movie the streamer deems like should be featured, like should be treated as a real movie. And Apple's example, they did not treat Highest to Lowest as a real movie, even though it's a Spike Lee joint.
I'm not sure they've treated any of their movies as real movies apart from Coda. That one they didn't treat like a real movie.
The one they treated like a real movie, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they treated F1 like a real movie.
I forgot that was an Apple movie.
That's why it has as many Oscar nominations as it does. That's why it made as much money as it did, because they put a push behind it. And they could have done that to Highest to Lowest, but they didn't because they didn't want to.
I think it's
interesting.
That's a really good point.
That it is an Apple A24 co-production, and it feels like
what I wanted to talk about.
It feels like
A24
didn't do anything.
No.
If I may, and
I
don't,
forgot it was an A24.
I know that there's good people who work at A24. Did A24 know what they were signing up for with signing up for this newest Spike Lee joint? Because when you watch this movie,
Probably not.
I don't think that A24's marketing apparatus necessarily knows how to sell a movie like this.
No.
But in most of this movie, especially the sequences that are working, this is what you're going to get when you buy a new Spike Lee movie. But like, I get the sense that we talked about the Apple side of it, but that A24 didn't know how to sell this movie either. I forgot that it was A24 until the logo came up. And by the way, I don't think A24 should have had anything to do with this movie. A24's audience is very different than the normal Spike Lee audience. There's obviously hardcore cinephiles in the middle of that Venn diagram, but stylistically and narratively, how Spike Lee constructs a story is completely antithetical to what we have come to deem like the quote A24 aesthetic, even though I think that is reductive and that's not how movies are made. But I do think that the A24 team has a certain taste. People think that way. I think it reflects more like their acquisitions team's taste. And Spike Lee does not feel in the same family to something like Lamb at any stretch. Right. I mean, Spike Lee's not a subtle filmmaker. That's why
or
we
even
love
like
him.
Marty Supreme. Like
sure.
It's
another New York movie.
That's true. And it
they love
let's talk about the style of the movie. Because the ugly ass camera work.
It's a confusing
So I have a lot.
movie.
I got a lot to say.
Go for it.
I consider myself a
4
Spike
stars.
Lee scholar.
You are a Spike Lee scholar.
I am a Spike Lee scholar, and he makes movies that are very dense with references and characters who break the fourth wall to teach the audience. That's a tried and true Spike Lee strategy.
Boston sucks.
Boston sucks. For the style, which may or may not have been dictated by Apple, we don't know, but they probably have like a lighting guideline sheet that they hand out.
They do.
And if that, like, when you watch early Spike movies, there's a flamboyant quality to the photography, to the production design. This is done in a much more naturalistic tone. And so for him to still do those more aggressive, confrontational aspects in the acting and the writing, and not to have it married with a more confrontational visual style, it just doesn't work. You need both to support each other. And it just makes it seem like my favorite moment to bring up when the wife is like, have you even filled out an Ebony alert yet? And she brings up her phone, and then we cut to the phone, and here's the Ebony alert, because it's very Spike Lee to teach us about this, but it just doesn't have the same effect as if it were in Do the Right Thing.
Right.
The film has a phone problem throughout. The film has a screens problem.
But he tells his son to put
Anytime
that
someone
screen
is
away.
holding up their phone to show something that contains information the audience needs to receive, such as the Ebony alert, which is also classic Spike in that he's wanting to teach at the same time.
Yeah.
It really takes you out. I think there's like a listicle at some point that we see, or like a
My other favorite one is
Billboard article.
They get the thing from the kidnapper. He wants 1,000 note Swiss banknotes or whatever. And on LaShance's phone, she just has the calculator app open, and it just says 1,000 on the
Again, that's visual.
Oh, that's
again, that's
fantastic.
visual information that's being conveyed to the audience.
She's working it out. Why we got to do $1,000 notes?
I want to go back to what Ben was saying about Spike's more rambunctious formal instincts and how they create a permission structure for things to be outside of the box when watching his films. Things that shouldn't make sense can be read as realistic. This is why the best scene in the movie is between Denzel and A$AP Rocky at the end in the recording studio. The lighting structure, the fact that they are both trading verse and trading threat, the way that we are confronted with two men.
I believe all of that was ad-libbed, by the way.
Incredible.
Denzel, I believe, just started spitting rap. And A$AP Rocky was like, oh, is this what we're doing? And was able to keep up.
But again,
incredible.
there's a permission structure that's been created in the way that Spike Lee is probably holding his set, let alone creating these images, which are a little more formally freewheeling. I mean, it's not that complex, the setups there, but especially the way that it's lit and how like tight he chooses to be on their faces. That is a really interesting dialogue, I think, visually and what they're actually getting into. And then I think the most exciting images in the film are between, well, I think the most exciting formal aspect of the film is also between the two of them, and there's glass between them again. At the end of the film,
The very
after
end.
A$AP Rocky's character has been, incarcerated, and they are on opposite sides of the glass. Now, what it appeared to me was that Spike took two shots and then mashed them together into one extra wide shot, where Denzel and A$AP Rocky occupy opposite ends of this extremely long frame, and in the center, the glass that separates them is almost like, what would that be, concave or like open palmed sort of shape.
Yeah.
Like it creates a type of, weird triangle in the middle.
Right.
And then in each shot, he's zooming in closer on them, and so that glass in the middle disappears, and the shot becomes less wide until it appears that they are across the table from one another. And that is incredible. And it speaks to his cinematic imagination and how he thinks in images and how he thinks in how you use a camera to tell a story. That I've never seen someone do something as simple as that before, where just by zooming in on the image, he creates a new image and erases a lot of noise in the center of it until it becomes about a conversation that two men are having. And then it cuts to a shot behind Denzel, and it looks nothing like the room that you thought you were in.
Right.
And that's uncanny. I mean, only
It's-
Spike Lee can do that.
It's a reinterpretation of the pickpocket ending in a way. To watch these two people on opposite sides of the glass, and Denzel really feels for him, and he wishes he could help him, but he has made his bed and he has to lie in it. I would also like to say that when they finally leave the apartment,
Oh, thank God.
45 minutes in.
Which, by the way, high and low, that's
it's
not a
also
problem.
like that. No,
But it's not a problem in that movie.
Not a problem.
Yeah. We finally leave the apartment to go drop the money, and we switch to 16 millimeter, and
I was
it's like,
about to say.
it's like, oh, so you guys know how ugly it is, right? Like,
and
all of a sudden,
and
they're
that's
doing something exciting now.
The money chase.
that's one of the
Puerto
best
Rican
sequences
festival.
in the movie.
It's
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
that's second to the A$AP Rocky.
I made a note about the film stock shift as well. We're just shifting to film stock, and
Yeah.
the image becomes so much more exciting. And then when Spike does something like focus on the like get your Yankees season tickets sign above the subway entrance, which feels very out of place until the scene or the sequence becomes what it becomes, which is a bunch of Yankee
Right.
fans yelling Boston
And it's
sucks
about the
direct to camera.
Yankees. Yeah.
And it's about the Yankees. But that image is so silly. But I still preferred that to the apartment.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Puerto Rican Day stuff, but first, just about when they're in the apartment. Two things. One thing I love about Spike Lee is if he is interested in how an object looks, in this case, that giant apartment building, he's going to shoot it from 12 different angles and use a different angle for every, like a different piece of coverage in the scene until he's used all of them. And
That's
that is
right.
something I love about Spike Lee. But two, maybe I could frame this as a question for the group. The moment you knew you were in real trouble with Highest to Lowest. And for me, it's the moment that, and there were already warning signs, but where Denzel takes the call, steps out onto the balcony. The camera is inside the apartment looking out through the
Yep.
window. I think there's
Yep.
a plant in the frame. You
Yep.
can't really understand what's going on, but it seems very normal. And then he just walks right back in and says, okay, our son has been kidnapped. And then just like keeps going. And it's like, that's it. Like, that's a little abrupt.
All right.
And
Yeah.
you think
We're
about it
rolling.
in high and low, like how incredible that interruption is. Because I think it comes after the lead character has just given this long ass speech bloviating about what an amazing businessman he is. And so it's like, sir, there's a call. It's like, oh, I'll get to it. And then when you
I
get
think
the
I
call,
knew
like,
I was in
the
trouble when
temperature
it started
changes.
with, oh, what a beautiful morning. Or what a beautiful day. Like, right away.
I love that. I love that opening. I was
That
ready.
version of
I
it
was ready for
specifically.
whatever was happening.
See, I
And
definitely
it
raised an
swoops
eyebrow.
around for like
But I was-
the whole
but I was
fucking
like-
song.
I was like, it's a big, bold choice. In other words, classic Spike. So I'm just going to see what happens here.
I appreciate it because it was a bold swing. It was such an insane way to start the movie.
And the drone, when we go into the building and Denzel is on the balcony, I was
Yep.
like, I don't know. I don't know if Spike is
do you
doing
think
it
that
with
was
this one.
was that a Psycho reference, or I wonder what I wonder
good
if he was pulling
question.
from anything there. But the thing that I love about Spike Lee, it also might have him just being like, I would like to have the camera come down from the sky and then end up on the balcony with Denzel, and
Right.
let's fucking try it because I've not used a drone like this before. Let's rig it
Right.
up. Let's go. And that's basically why I forgive everything in this movie that doesn't work, except everything with Mrs. Denzel, whose character name I can't remember at this point. Everything that doesn't work for me, or everything that I have questions about, including in the amazing Puerto Rican Day sequence when he drops the bag and there's that great
love that
shot of like
shot.
the bag falling
Love
down.
that shot,
But then there is
yeah.
also the question of later when it's repurposed in social media, like who had the camera right there with their phone
Right.
to like capture it so perfectly. So that's an example. Like I have
You went
questions with
viral
stuff.
globally.
Yeah.
He's told.
I hate when I go viral globally, especially if it's thanks to AI, IA,
He's-
AEIOU.
The Black Panther of the Boogie Down Bronx. That's the headline
Okay.
of the Post.
It is.
Denzel's doing so much good teeth acting in this movie, by the way. I'm just
It really
picturing his
is.
face in
The
highest to
veneers
lowest.
are veneering.
The veneers are tight. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, there's such a sense of experimentation and an exuberance with the camera, like just the idea of Spike is up to something, and
I largely
I'm
like the
happy he's
picture.
having fun.
Yeah.
I really, really, really struggled with it at times.
I put it on my best year honorable mention.
I'd put A$AP Rocky on my long list for supporting actor.
Sure.
It's funny because I think
He's
some of
so
the I think
beautiful.
I
He's a
would double
gorgeous man.
nominate him for that and Kick Legs.
he's on
No
he's
Legs.
higher
Legs.
up on my ballot for If I Had Legs I'd Kick You.
Yeah.
He's a talent.
But like there's a sincerity to it
talent.
with Spike that I love. Like when we got the Kamala Harris forward poster in the back, obviously that elicited a big old laugh from me. But he means it, and
He does.
find that,
It's
and I
earnest.
think that's beautiful. And,
It's
and I
very
think
important
that's
for
a
Spike
risk.
to show black excellence on screen.
Of
Like,
course.
that's why we get the full fucking song at the end. That's why we have.
I love that it's the full fucking song.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic.
It's very.
I'm not sure if I
earnest.
love it, but
I don't know
it
that
is
I love it
earnest and
either.
sincere.
But I believe I know why he
that's
did it.
that's
That's
when
it,
I
I mean-
smashed the heart. I was like,
My point is like every frame of this movie, whether it's ugly or exciting, is right from Spike Lee's heart.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how can I
That's
not
what I like
enjoy
about
the
it.
experience of watching that
Yeah.
movie? I think that it
telling
is
you, once you get
so
past the
repetitive.
first
Well, when we're in
45.
the house, I
we
think
don't
it is
talk about the
so
apartment part.
silly that it ends with him opening a family business.
I think that's beautiful.
I do, but at the same time, like, I love that Spike Lee watches High and Low, and it's like, okay, you know what this movie needs? More basketball in the first 5 minutes
Yep.
to start. Like, and
Yeah.
he's right. And
He
he's
is
right.
right.
Rick
He is
Fox
right.
as the
Rick Fox showing up was so great.
as the coach.
Yeah.
Like, well, I think it's in the first scene with any dialogue when the son comes down the stairs and he's got on the Celtics green headband, and Denzel's like, "Get it away! I can't see it." It's so sincere in a way that I find beautiful.
Love the picture.
And I don't need to have a conversation about Jeffrey Wright's performance, but I didn't have a
That stays in the
problem.
apartment.
No, but I didn't.
That stays in the apartment.
But what I will say about that is, I basically will walk through fire for Jeffrey Wright. I thought American Fiction was so bad, and no one was cheering louder than me when he got the Best Actor nomination. And I
forgot about
yeah, but what I want to say about Jeffrey Wright in the year of film 2025 is that if the conversation you're having first is whether or not the highest to lowest performance is an indication that he is a good or bad actor, that's the wrong conversation to be having. You should be talking about how incredible he is in the Phoenician Scheme, where every other word that comes out of his mouth is man. It is so,
He's so
fucking
good in that
funny.
movie. He's
I mean,
so good
Jeffrey
in that
Wright is a
movie.
treasure, and he can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned, and
Same.
that includes highest to lowest. A performance that I think is a mixed bag, but
I think
But
he's
you're-
great. I don't have any problems with his performance in
Really?
highest to lowest. Really.
I like his scene.
I
when
honestly
he-
saying
when he
mixed
has
bag
to
doesn't feel
beg.
honest coming out of my mouth. I liked it as well.
I like. I can give or leave or take most of the performance, but I like his scene when he has to beg Denzel to save his son.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's actually good there, but the rest of it, I'm like,
I think the reason why people are kind of befuddled by the performance is that he brings an intensity to it that is not
does.
necessarily met by Denzel.
exactly.
Who is
It's
Mr.
incongruent.
Intensity, right? Like Denzel knows how to
Yeah.
dial up the intensity just like ordering a sandwich, but a lot of this performance is a little more subdued, a little calmer
Yeah.
until it's
And
not.
like when
But-
Jeffrey Wright's like, "Get off me," and he's like, he learns about his
Yeah.
son being kidnapped. It's just like, okay,
But I feel like
I know your
this
son's
is not
kidnapped,
this is
but-
not precisely correct, but I feel like we cut from like Denzel tucking his son into bed, being like, "We're so happy you're home, son," to Jeffrey Wright being like,
no, literally, that's how it feels. He's like dialed.
See,
up
I
to
think
11.
it's
What am I gonna
Denzel's problem. I
don't
think
think it's a-
Denzel is it's not my favorite of his work.
I think that's a brave
I
statement
question-
to make, and I agree with you. I don't think it's
I
his finest
question
hour.
what Denzel is doing quite a bit in this movie.
I think he's on the same register that Spike is, where they're just like, they're having a good time.
I guess.
I think he's having too much of a good time, frankly.
I just like when they leave to go do the money drop, the way that he hugs his son is like he claps him on the back, and and his son
really
and his son
weird.
says "love you," and Denzel just yells "more" back, and then he's out.
I mean, I love
Like,
that.
I just
No
I
notes.
just don't think it works. I don't
Well-
know who King David is as a character.
Neither do I. No, that's a really good point, and I agree with you. And I think that Denzel is maybe not sleepwalking through this movie, but I'm.
He
just
does
trying so
literally
hard
do
not-
a scene with his eyes closed, and it's in the movie.
Yes, it is in the movie. I'm trying not to
Wait,
say
what
the thing that
is
everybody says about this movie, like high highs and low lows. But I think the Denzel performance is maybe indicative of that idea, even more than the film at times. Because I do think his scenes with A$AP Rocky are terrific.
Yeah.
And when you have him saying something like I-A-A-I-A-E-I-O-U and I'm still here, I think it's nice. I also think it's like Spike and Denzel have been dads for a really long time. Like, it's not like they're just shifting into dad mode now, but there is something so dad mode about this collaboration that I find endearing, even when it doesn't totally work. I'm realizing I have a Denzel Washington story that I should just save for another time so we can move on to a different topic. But I did one time make indirect contact with Denzel Washington about something, and maybe I'll talk about that another time.
Make a note. Make a note.
I'm making a note. Last thing I would say, everything on the subway rocks. Maybe the whole movie should have taken place on a subway, sort of like a high and low, Sleep No More. Like, just do the whole thing on a subway. You know? Because every time they
What's
get on
the
a subway,
Tony
this
Scott
rocks.
movie? Unstoppable?
The Taking of Pelham 1, 2... Oh, yeah, Unstoppable. But the Tony Scott movie on the subway is The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
I have not seen that.
Excellent.
That is
I
a
love
movie
that
that
it's
I need to see.
Unstoppable, and Unstable's a train. It's not a
Yeah, but that is what I was thinking
No,
of.
but I
it
know
is,
that's what you were
okay.
thinking of. I think Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3 is even
love
better than
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. And
yeah.
if you
The
have a
remake
taste,
with John Travolta?
yes, if you have a
Oh,
taste
really?
for the over the top Travolta villain theatrics that he occasionally will show a glimpse of, he's incredible in this. There's a scene where he is just like screaming his head off, and James Gandolfini is in the same scene, and you can tell Gandolfini is trying so hard not to crack on camera, and it's beautiful, and it's
Fantastic.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I watched
so
it sometimes.
highest to lowest. I feel like we could talk even more about this one. I'm so glad I finally watched it. I would like them to Denzel and Spike to remake Bicycle Thieves next. I think they should just keep remaking classics of
They
world
should
cinema
do all of the Sight and Sound mainstays.
one at a time.
Yeah.
But yeah, great to see Wendell Pierce for a second.
That's true.
Highest to lowest. Brandon, do you want to take us home with your topic?
Well, my topic in the group chat, the boys know, I was regretting my topic shortly after beginning the homework for the topic. The topic being Kate Hudson. And she gives performances.
She does give performances in many movies.
She does act in front of the camera.
And I'm going to talk about 3 performances.
Do you maybe want to say first why Kate Hudson's on the brain?
So Kate Hudson was on the brain because I thought I was going to watch Sing Song Song Sang Blue, which I didn't, and my counterparts here did, so I failed. She is Academy Award nominated now, that's why she was on the brain, and I was like, Kate Hudson! And I instantly regretted it when I popped in my full screen copy DVD of How to Lose a Guy, and I was like, this is so much worse than I remember. This is
what's
a
great?
horrible movie.
You know
They
what's
have
great about-
zero chemistry. Kate Hudson is doing I don't know what the fuck.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days
Is the
is a
worst.
terrible movie.
It's so
but
bad.
It
Why
blesses
did I
us.
remember it being good?
It blesses us because you were a child when you watched it the first time.
I was
It
probably
blesses
in,
us
in my
in like the
basement with my
first
sister
10
at a
minutes.
sleepover.
She's written some paper on Tajikistan, I believe.
She wants
And
to
her-
be a
and
serious
her-
reporter.
And her friend
Why
is
can't I
like
write about politics?
her friend is
Why
like
can't I write
writes
about
for like
her friend is like,
Cosmo.
Kate,
an
Kate,
idiot.
we using the template you've established in Tajikistan, we could bring peace to the Middle East. And she's like, my reporter makes me want to do quizzes, like how to catch a guy in 10 days,
Here's our how-to girl.
how to land a man with dinner. I want to solve world peace, and that like that she did it, like
Even
that we
when
meet the
she-
character, and she has achieved a paradigm for world peace But because she works at Vogue or wherever she's working.
No,
under
Cosmo.
editor Cosmo, under her editor who is played by.
I
Isn't it-
recognize her, but I don't know the name.
Full disclosure, I didn't rewatch the movie for this because I
Me
did end
neither.
up
Is it
accidentally
Candice
watching it
Bergen?
recently.
Or am I just
burned
thinking of
into your
Candice
brain.
Bergen is in...
Bergen has played the editors
one.
for
On
projects
Sex and the
like
City.
this. Yes,
It
exactly.
is played by
And Candice Bergen also popped up in something else I watched recently.
BB
First Wives Club.
Neuwirth.
Oh,
Right?
it's BB Newer.
It was BB Neuwirth, who was in Le Divorce as well.
Really? Mm-hmm. I did enjoy Catherine Hahn in the picture and End of Story. So the second movie I chose for Kate Hudson was 9. Which I
9.
forgot.
You want to go into 9?
So I forgot the fact of 9 is I remember her being in that movie more. She's in that movie for 10 minutes.
She was all over the marketing campaign.
But she has a very famous sequence in the film. It did not confuse me that you would choose 9.
Italiano.
No, I mean,
It's
next
a
to Almost
scene.
Famous, it is one of the most iconic Kate Hudson performances, if you're gay, because
Yeah.
Cinema
It is
Italiano became
fascinating
iconic
to
that
me
season through the
that
marketing.
she is known as a prestige musical performer. Her 2 Oscar nominations are for musical films. She doesn't sing in Almost Famous, but it is still a musically
sings Tiny
inclined
Dancer.
picture. Yes.
And
Yeah.
so let's save 9 for last. because
She's
it
considered
is-
a triple threat. I don't know what the third
So
one
that's
is.
so I
She's a
I had
double
put
threat.
I had put Brandon's topic in our
no
movies
threat.
IMO spreadsheet as the mystery of Kate Hudson.
So let's talk
Because-
about the mystery of Kate Hudson, because the mystery is this: why is she Oscar nominated right now?
The mystery
Oh,
is
I can
Again,
talk about
how
that.
is Goldie
I mean,
Hawn her mother? It's not fair.
That was going to be my log. I was like, where did nothing transferred down?
I
I
forget
would say-
who once said this to me,
I-
but I think about it all the time. Is it's just not fair that she gets to be Goldie Hawn's daughter.
It's just not fair. I've heard that before. I don't know who said it, but it's true.
Probably me, 'cause I
let's-
repeat it
let's-
often.
Let's skip 9 because I want to talk about the mystery of Kate Hudson. Her performance in Almost Famous is very good, but not because of her. I think it's because Cameron Crowe knew what to do with her.
I do think it is the
Mystique?
best she has ever been in a motion
I think it's
picture.
a I think it's a great
It's
great
the only
performance,
time
and
she's been good in a motion picture.
I don't agree with that.
Name another.
I think she's good in The Skeleton Key. She holds her own against Jenna Rollins in The Skeleton Key. No, I'm serious. It's not the best performance I saw that year, but if you can hold your own on screen with Jenna Rollins, you have to give a little bit of credit to that person as a performer.
I am
you also
a
have to
fan
give
of
some
Fails.
credit to you also have to give some credit to Jenna Rollins as a scene partner. But I'll say it now. I think I am going to be the only. I don't want to call myself a Kate Hudson defender because I'm not a fan, but I would give her a little more credit for the Almost Famous performance. And obviously, her on-screen persona is very different than her mother's. I think
She's
that,
no Gwyneth Paltrow to me.
no, definitely
Exactly.
not.
Like
Definitely
I'm,
not.
I'm
And the
sure
fact
that
that
there
we
are some
just-
people who see Gwyneth the way that I see Kate Hudson, and that's why I bring
Yeah.
up that comparison. But
Right.
I aside from Almost Famous, I cannot look at her and let
Take it
go
seriously.
of what I feel about her.
And so I think it was also insult to injury that we just did Gwyneth, where I can
So
watch,
that's what I was about to say.
I can watch Sliding Doors, which is a terrible movie, and be captivated anytime
Yeah.
she's on screen. But I did not feel that way anytime Kate was on screen.
I put on my private letterbox list of all new to me films of the year. I do have in the last 2 positions Sliding Doors and Le Divorce by James
Divorce.
Ivory,
I'm so pissed I didn't watch
starring
it.
Kate Hudson. I put
Le
Le
Divorce.
Divorce just
It is
ahead
how
of
you
Sliding
say
Doors because Sliding Doors, I think, does nothing with its premise, whereas Le Divorce does so much with its premise, and none of
The
it's
concept
interesting.
of divorce.
But the concept of divorce, I
But
love
in
like
France,
before
divorce.
French Divorce.
well, yeah, this
Everything's
holiday
sexier
season.
in French.
Be French is what Le Divorce is inviting us to
Be
do.
French.
Be French. Be
Be
so
Italian
French.
and
Be
be
so French
French.
that like Glenn Close in her first scene is talking to Naomi Watts, who's 3 months pregnant, and she's like, "How far along are you?" She'll have a glass of wine. Like the movie loves to remind you, like they do things different over there. They're crazy in France.
They're cuckoo over
They
there.
got different rules. They got different social mores. But Almost Famous, I think I think that maybe the reason why people keep giving her second and third and fourth and fifth chances is that obviously that performance is iconic. I think that it is also the only performance where she exemplifies any of her mother's talent. And what I mean specifically by that is that Goldie Hawn is obviously a virtuosic comic performer who can go very big, but her characters always feel very grounded in their own reality and sometimes in their own delusion. And I get that quality in Almost Famous from Kate Hudson. Like
Sure.
there's a confidence and also like a wounded quality that is being masked by a
Vulnerability.
peacocking.
Yeah.
And Goldie Hawn is really great at doing that on screen, and I think Kate Hudson is great in Almost Famous and does some of it there. And I think that because she is this, not just a Nepo baby, but is Goldie Hawn's kid, and then you watch that performance, I think there's a lot of people who saw that, and I think that they instantly coronated her. I mean, she was a threat to win the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress that year. And I don't know. I mean, like, again, I don't have the same
Marcia
level
Gay
of
Harden.
antipathy out of nowhere for Pollock.
Yeah.
But I was looking at her filmography, and it's really interesting.
And
So
I
she
mean,
goes
it is
from-
a truly
Kate's-
iconic poster, first of all.
yes,
Like, it
exactly.
is-
Yeah, the fact
The
that
image of her
the
face
poster,
instantly iconic.
yes,
I-
and
so
the fact that it's her face, even though like she's not the main character at all, like, and so yeah, it is iconic in that
she's
way.
the best thing in it, in my opinion, on the performances. Maybe Crudup. Maybe Crudup
think
is my
Crudup
favorite
is
performance in
the
it.
best.
Crudup
performance.
really blew me
I
away
think-
in that movie.
I think
did
I
not
might have to go
realize,
with
like,
Crudup because I can't stand him as an actor now. Which he seems like a fine person. I guess
Watching
I don't know
him
anything
in
about
this
him.
made me appreciate him way more than I ever have.
In the way that the Kate Hudson performance probably opened up an imagination for what her career was going to be for people, rewatching this film with Billy Crudup imagined a future before all of his performances became so tick-dependent, which is, I think of him
Sure.
as a very, like, tick-dependent performer now, in a way that kind of drives me insane.
Gotcha.
I
that's fair.
love the naturalism of that performance as Russell. There's something so devastating and open about it.
I love his phone call with Frances McDormand.
I mean, Frances McDormand just achieving levels of Laura Linney and Sully excellence for phone performance in that film.
Yes.
Right.
And so does
She is
Philip. And so
doing
does
the
Philip
phone.
Seymour Hoffman. Philip Seymour
Seymour
Hoffman
Hoffman.
and
Oh yeah, he's always on the
Frances
phone too.
McDormand are almost entirely
On
on the
phone.
phone performances,
Yep.
which is
I
impressive.
watched the 3-hour version for this podcast, by the way.
Oh, what do they call that cut again?
Untitled.
I
They
didn't know
call
there
it
was.
Untitled. Yes.
Right, because that was the
There's a
original title of
3-hour
the script.
version. And
How was that available? Because I mean, the movie, so it's a full hour longer.
It is literally
I bet it's
ending
better.
for an hour.
I'm sure it is.
There
I'm
are
sure you
ending
feel
scenes
the-
for about an hour.
The ending of
I
Almost
liked it
Famous
more
has always
than
felt very
a
rushed to
shorter
me.
version. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
I
I'll have
really
to check
quite
that out in the
liked
next
it.
couple years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I, didn't even
I
know that
highly
existed.
recommend the long version. I thought it was quite lovely. I would like
Yeah.
to talk about 9, though.
Let's.
Okay, but okay. Before we talk about nine, I just want to
This
quickly.
holiday season.
I want to mention something about the career because I have her filmography in front of me here. So just in terms of the mystery
Talk
of Kate
about Sia's
Hudson,
music.
I don't know how to define her as a performer because I don't really think she has that many hallmarks as a performer. There's no for me. There's no grand theory in the same way you could come up with a grand theory for someone like Gwyneth, but she
Yeah.
goes from Almost Famous to
Is it
Le Divorce.
immediately? Oh,
Le Divorce and then the
How to
I'm
Lose?
not naming all the movies, but Le Divorce and How to Lose a Guy are in the same year, and then Raising Helen, and then The Skeleton Key, and then You, Me, and Dupree, Fool's Gold, Bride Wars, and then that takes us to 9. None of those. Le Divorce is probably the only movie on paper that feels like up to her level as she was being defined at that time. She's an Oscar nominee. And going to a James Ivory comedy of manners that doesn't work at all seems like a fine next
How
step.
to Lose
in
a
trying
Guy
to
is a
establish
real
legitimacy.
like star
Maker.
rom-com of that
Yes.
era, though.
But
Absolutely.
it didn't.
No, but
make
but
her
that's
a
but How to
star.
Lose. I would say Raising Helen, Fool's Gold, like You, Me, and Dupree. These are obviously The Skeleton Key. These are successful to wildly varying degrees. I think I'm not going to look
Yeah.
up the box office performance of every one, but in my memory of it, it's all sort of like she's going to be the star of an American rom-com or Farrelly Brothers comedy or horror project with the Skeleton Key, but she's just slotting in to these different studio genre pictures.
Right.
And I think possibly does a disservice to her just from that. I don't know. I guess I don't want to. Again, I don't have much of a grand theory to build there, but I think it's interesting That's partly why I can't come up with it, because to me
'Cause
that's kind of a wasteland, even though those were prestige, even then that they were mainstream studio projects.
I think she was just taking whatever project was offering the most money for that moment of her life. I don't think that she
Maybe
has
so.
any sort of artistic push, which isn't a problem because a lot of great actors have lived that way and made great movies that way. Like Julia Roberts in the 90s is basically that as well, but
It's
she
true.
was in better properties.
in
Right.
post in the decade after 9, and then we'll talk about 9, she starts to choose slightly more interesting projects. Like she's in a Mira Nair movie, she's in Deepwater Horizon, which I think is actually pretty good. She's in this was post COVID, but she's in an Anna Lilia Mirpour film, which I think is fascinating. And then of course music is in there too, which we should have watched music for the podcast.
No.
But the reason I think she was nominated for Song Sung Blue is partly because she's amassed so many well-wishers in this industry who have been waiting for her to deliver on the promise. And she is given more to do in Song Sung Blue than she has ever been given as an actress before. She's also being given like 7 different modes of Best Actress winner. There's like recovery
Yes.
drama, based on a true story, like sort of with a wink, I, Tanya, Eyes of Tammy Faye going on. It's a love story. It's a romantic lead. It's a rags to riches story.
Music biopic.
It's a music
in a
biopic.
sense.
She's given so many modes to operate in. I think she's good in the movie. She's not on my ballot, but I think she's fine in the movie. But I think the movie is insane, and I don't know.
I
if
think
we'll have a
she's
chance to talk about
fine
it.
in the dramatic stuff, but the footage of her performing, I can't. I can't.
She's
be
having so much
anywhere
fun.
near that. When she
Well, it's funny.
shimmies at the
She
keyboard,
loves to shimmy. She loves to shake.
I can't.
As
do
a
it.
Midwesterner, I bought it. I bought it.
I got
I
it.
bought the
Every
accent.
single person who defends this movie to me tells me it's because I'm not from the Midwest.
That's interesting. I'm not. Well,
I
that's
have
not.
to watch it now.
Well, I guess what I would say that
I'll
is
give 5
first,
stars.
you're not from the Midwest,
That's true.
and second, that doesn't have to be a bad thing.
That
Like,
I'm-
there is-
I just think it's interesting that every single person is like, well, I'm from
That's
the
their
Midwest,
defense.
so I get it.
Brandon, you got to because you are from the Midwest. You have to see this movie and weigh in.
I know. I
Yeah.
clearly I'm gonna love it because I'm from the Midwest.
Maybe pour out one for Hugh Jackman. I think it's so humiliating that Hugh Jackman was not in the Best Actor conversation at all.
For even a moment.
Not a
And
bit.
he-
And
Can
He's
we
giving it
spoil it,
his all.
Brandon?
Yeah, I don't care.
Spoiler
What does
alert.
he do?
dies in this movie.
the day of
What
the
a
big
twist.
show, he falls, cracks open his head, staples it back together, puts on a show, and then dies.
And then he
while
puts on the
waiting to
shows and
meet
he
Neil
dies
Neil
in the
Diamond.
car waiting to meet Neil Diamond himself. When I tell you, this is the hardest I have ever had to stifle laughter than in a theatrical motion picture experience.
Can I tell you, Ben?
Hugh Jackman's corpse is
There are a lot.
the
wait.
back of this car.
He cracks his
saw
head
it-
open, staples it,
Staples
so he can
it.
perform,
Yeah.
So that he
and
can
it's
perform.
based on a true story.
Yeah.
Okay, so this movie does not massage it's based on a true story beats well enough. There are so many things in this movie that just beg a questioning of whether this
Yeah.
actually happened. They did actually happen. But this is where film style and direction and a sturdier screenplay come into the picture. Like, not only does she get run over by the car, but another car
need to see
runs
the end
into
of
the
that
house.
shot.
Brandon, another
I've only
car
seen the start in the trailer.
Another car, that's really all you see. I mean, you don't. Another car runs
like it's
into the
about to
house
drive into the
in the
house.
same spot later in the film, and that actually happened.
Almost hits her again.
Yeah. And
Why
but
are all these people
there's,
trying to run her over?
if you want to keep that in the film, I think there's a way to make it work, but I don't think that.
It does
Craig
feel
Brewer
like
figured it out.
a writerly
Yeah.
thing.
It feels a little like we kept it because it really happened. Can you believe it?
Right.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
to Ben's point about trying not to laugh in the movie theater, so I saw this at the AMC Burbank 8, the one in the mall with the really tiny theaters.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm in a packed screening of Song Sung Blue, but there's probably
way.
25 seats.
You saw
in
it
the
a week
theater.
ago, and it was packed.
Well, she's nominated for an Oscar, so people
She's
are
winning.
catching up. And it has good. So I'll come back to that. She's not winning.
She's coming in
don't
second.
put it in the ether.
She's coming in. Brandon. She's coming in second. I've become convinced that if the Oscar voting had been held a week or two later, Song Sung Blue would have been in the Best Picture lineup. I think that she is I think she is a threat to win SAG. I mean, she is given so much to do in this movie in a way that I feel your basic SAG actor member really respects and responds to. It's as simple as
much to
she does
do.
comedy, she does drama, and she laughs and sings.
She sings.
and she does a
The
and she does a
amount-
funny accent. But
the
I want to
Go
say
through recovery. She's depressed.
for 5 fucking minutes. This is my problem with
she's so
Song
depressed.
Sung Blue. That Song Sung Blue presents itself at the end as like, actually, she was the main character all along. And that's absurd. Because, first of all, we never even see her in rehab for longer than a couple of seconds. It's not her story. It's Hugh Jackman's story. Her recovery process is filtered through his perspective on it. And leading back to the point I was trying to make, Ben, I was trying so hard not to laugh, and sometimes I just couldn't, like, hold it in. And the one time, when I finally cracked was after Kate Hudson is sent to the hospital after a car has rammed through her while she's gardening outside her house. And we cut to black, and then you hear like beep, 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 like on a heart monitor, and then we cut to her in the hospital, and the family's like covered in blood. They're like, like, where's mom? And so you see, like, in the background of a shot, like Kate Hudson being wheeled in on a gurney to go to surgery, and then we don't follow her. We leave her there.
we leave her.
And then we leave her there. So again, she's not the lead in this movie, no matter what they want to tell you. And this is the part where I fucking lost it, which is Hugh Jackman then grabs one of the daughters, goes into an empty hospital room, rips his shirt off, and says, "Defibrillate me!" Like he grabs the
charge.
hot hands, the electrical charge thing.
Why?
And he's like, because
He's having a heart
prone to,
attack.
heart attack. He's having a heart attack.
Oh my god!
And it's been
he's so
established in the
distraught.
movie that he has like heart attacks.
Oh, this really did.
Minor heart
This
episodes.
really happened.
And
Multiple
the
heart
next thing you know,
episodes in
Hugh
the film.
Jackman's shirt is off, and he's telling a child to like give him the shock of life, and he like falls to the floor, and I just totally lost it.
Oh,
I
this
couldn't
is
believe it.
insane.
I couldn't believe that we were even on him in this moment. Like, why aren't we with her? And that the
fine.
movie
She's
doesn't
having a
give you
heart
a
attack.
second to breathe. I mean, it really makes you appreciate a melodrama like Now Voyager, which something that Now Voyager and Song Sung Blue have in common is both of those are movies.
That's a
that
phrase
change
I
their
never
mind.
thought I'd hear.
Let me finish. No, but let me finish. Yeah, and Ben, you'll agree with me on this. Trust. Here's what they have in common. They are both movies that every 5 to 15 minutes change their mind about what kind of movie they're going to be.
That's fair.
One movie pulls it off beautifully, and the other doesn't at all.
I did fall asleep during Song
it-
Sung Blue.
It makes me appreciate a melodrama like Now Voyager.
Before all
It-
of the hoopla begins.
It's really hard to pull off that kind of hairpin after hairpin after hairpin narrative turn in a melodrama. And
I also
bass in the
really
score-
laughed. Yes, it did. I really laughed. I think she's in a group therapy scene.
Oh yeah,
or something.
This is the one
and,
scene of rehab we get.
and we start on like an out of focus shot of her face, and it slowly comes into focus as we
Very Iron Lady.
experience her pain. Yes, very much that kind of a shot. That really gave me a laugh. My screening experience was Christmas Day morning, I believe. It may have been Christmas Eve morning, but I think it was Christmas Day morning with my family and in Palm Springs in a packed theater of elderly people who were
That movie's
singing
gonna play in Palm
along
Springs.
to every single song. Thought that they were at a sing-along screening of Wicked, and we're just like
Fantastic.
living, tapping and slapping their
Not
thighs.
Not tapping.
And just like so completely
We
with
need
the movie.
A sing-along version in theaters. That'll get her the win.
And it made me resent the movie even more than I was genetically predisposed to.
I would have lost
I would
my
have-
mind. I think I would have
would've
lost my mind in that specific environment. I think I saw it under the ideal circumstances. Again,
I
mall
think the ideal
screening,
circumstances would
small
be to
theater,
not see it.
never see it.
You have never seen it.
I mean, I'm somebody who missed a lot of Oscar movies that not like by their quality, but by their Oscar baitiness in the last 5 to 6 years. And so I'm not one to talk. But I do think this is an interesting movie as an Oscar case and why voters are responding to it. I don't think it's an interesting movie on its own terms. I think that the last shot of the movie and how it mirrors that same shot of the car approaching her while she's gardening is in very poor taste.
What is the last shot of the movie? I don't remember.
I
Way.
believe
Is it in
if memory serves, and maybe I'm wrong, if it's not the last shot, it's one of the final shots. It's like in the living room through the glass. It's a mirror shot of when she's gardening, and the car comes behind over and knocks her over. And I thought that was in really bad taste.
Right.
Last
like
thing I'd say
she's
about it,
safe
and
now.
then we really should talk about 9. Is that I had an intrusive thought in the first 15 minutes, which was that Hugh Jackman looks like Anton Chigurh in this movie, the haircut. And I wasn't able to
is
shake
not
it
Hair,
the whole
true.
time.
Bob.
That is
Yeah.
not untrue.
He is wearing a bob.
But the movie
When-
9. Oh,
Yeah.
you have more to say?
No, wait, no,
That song's
I have the
good.
last. Sorry, it's
gotta
it's
move
not.
on.
Yeah, I do have one more thing to say, which is just that your audience was singing along. Again, I saw it in the ideal circumstance when she got hit by a car. Somebody in my audience went, "What the fuck?" Audibly.
They didn't know. They didn't know what movie they were seeing.
Not unlike watching Surratt.
You missed the
honestly.
trailer. I love
Anyways,
about this
literally
movie
in the
that they.
trailer.
I like that they recut the trailer to include that. Her getting fucking
Because people
rammed by a car.
were so surprised.
It would have brought
should've-
down
they
the
should've
VA
left it
cinema
out.
score.
That's right. Okay, should we talk about 9? The reason why we're all
so
here.
9 is a motion
9.
picture following.
I have
Guido.
seen 9 5 or 7 times in my life.
Jesus
There's
Christ.
something. There is something about it that draws me to it, even as I know it's not good. There's something that is like well executed about it, like without any like it's
Name
not
it.
thought through, but like it is handsomely shot and edited.
There is a polish and a confidence to the film,
Yes.
which is also a reason why the film is so bad, in my opinion. Which is
Yeah.
not. It's not disagreeing with what you said at all. There's certainly a draw to it because I don't know. I mean, like I'm a sucker
It's
for
so watchable. to me.
Yeah, and I think
though-
the movie.
You don't come out of it humming any tune.
You don't
No.
remember a goddamn thing they sang.
Oh, you guys
Not for
aren't
cinema,
flying
no.
down the 101 freeway screaming along to Folie Bergère with the windows down. Folie Bergère.
A call from the Vatican.
Who's not wearing any clothes? She's not.
I mean, the
but-
Fergie song is the most memorable.
Be Italian.
Be Italian.
Literally, be Italian.
I do think that
Um,
Take It All is really well staged.
I think that Take It All ends with her basically doing what Judy Greer does in that episode of Arrested Development, where she keeps off and saying, "I hope you say goodbye to these, Michael." It's like basically how Take It All ends.
I
Is a
hated
shot
it.
behind her as she rips off her bra to be like,
Yeah,
"The last time you're gonna be seeing these."
Should we
It's
say
meant to
that
be such a
9 is the
shocking
musical
moment.
adaptation of Federico Fellini's 8.5?
A movie that Rob Marshall has
is-
not seen.
In of itself is an insane premise.
It's just crazy
Yeah, I mean-
that they made it into a musical with bad songs.
Yeah, I've not seen the musical on stage, so I can't speak to how it plays.
Why
on stage
would you?
versus- Well,
Why
The
would you?
shittier
Ben,
Chicago.
I could have told you in 2009, but I can't tell you in 2026. Because I think these songs are just kind of uniformly bad. I think that Marion Cotillard has a wonderful and unique singing voice. And so I could listen to my husband. I had the
My
soundtrack
husband makes
downloaded on
movies.
iTunes. My husband makes movies. I listen to a lot
Ugh.
downloaded on iTunes at the time.
I literally had the trailer on my iPod.
Classic trailer.
That- The trailer
remember
is
the trailer.
it's
Yes,
so
no,
good.
yes, no. That's the
Watch
idea.
it as soon as we get done here because
I
the
bet I'll
trailer is
It's a great
Ratatouille
trailer. It's a
and
great
remember
trailer.
it.
the trailer. You'll be like, oh, this movie's gonna be so good, and then you see
I
the
saw
movie.
it opening weekend in Leicester Square in London. Like I was going to see the opening of Chicago on
That
the West
holiday
End. Like,
season, you were Italian.
I chose to be Italian, and I thought it was great in 2009. I'll tell you why I thought it was great. And going back
Tell
to what
us,
Ben was
yes.
saying around the polish and the sheen of the movie, because I had never seen a movie directed by Federico Fellini, nor a film made from the country of Italy. Period. I might have. I might have seen
like,
eight. I think I might have seen 8.5. Because I loved that movie when I was a teen. I had seen 8.5. But I didn't realize while watching this movie back then that the fact that it looks like Chicago and talks like Chicago, it doesn't sound like Chicago,
Right.
does not make this movie Chicago. It makes no sense whatsoever, in my opinion, to use that visual strategy for the numbers in a movie
No.
about a Federico
No.
Fellini
yeah,
Avatar.
it's insane that
Why-
that's what it's structured
why-
around.
Why is this choreographed in a way to evoke Bob Fosse? What does Bob Fosse have to do with 8.5?
sense.
Federico Fellini.
Why?
Sense.
Why are we
makes me
watching a musical
crazy.
number? Why are we watching a musical number where Kate Hudson, who by the way is just walking back and forth on a runway? That's the choreography.
Yeah.
She's
Well,
just
she's
walking
on the
back
runway.
and forth.
With the wind
And she
machine
goes- she
blowing
goes,
her hair.
"Ah," and then turns around and
As
walks back. And
Stephanie
like-
from Vogue. It's me,
Yes.
Stephanie from Vogue.
She's like,
she says, actually, Ben, I wrote the line
the
down. It's-
lyric?
I wrote the line down. Hi, Guido Contini, Stephanie from Vogue. You remember me? But it makes no sense that you are
Where?
watching this. That you are watching this sequence in color, cutting between color and black and white in a way that
Yeah.
recalls the French New Wave
'Cause you
more
have
than
to
Italian
say
cinema, in
not
my
Guido
opinion.
POV.
While she is singing about Italian neo-realism.
Can I
There
read
is
you some
nothing-
lyrics?
Yep, and I'm going to pull it up as well. I'd already have it
Dark,
up. Go-
handsome guys, skinny little ties, shades in the middle of the night, speedy little cars, hip coffee bars. Oh, my thing.
Oh my God.
Sleek women in Positano, which does not rhyme with middle of the night, by the way.
No. When I think about Il Bidone, I think about hip coffee bars.
The
When I
skinny
think
little
about
ties.
Amarcord, I think about
Yep.
skinny little ties dressing Maud, looking out of sight. Don't forget about
That's
their
exactly-
pointy leather shoes.
That's what I think is the point of La Dolce Vita, is the ties, you know?
You know what? So I'm having this intrusive thought where I'm driving around or I'm sitting alone at home, and then but I don't even realize I'm doing it. But the words "the way Contini puts his image through a prism" comes out of my mouth. What? The way Contini puts his image through a prism. I feel my body chill, gives me a special thrill each time I see that Guido neo-realism. That this song was not nominated
such
for an Academy
rich-
Award for Best Original Song is proof of God. Okay? Like this is exactly what they would have gone
Where's the
for.
line
And they were
about
pushing for it.
POV? That's my
Yeah,
favorite.
those
that's a
scenes
good
I
one,
love
too.
to see from Guido's POV.
Which, by the way,
That's
that's not
perfect.
even a clever line, and in that way, it fits in perfectly with all the lines in 9.
all of
But
the rest of the music.
Guido's
those scenes I
POV.
love to see from Guido's point of view. There's no one else with his
POV.
unique direct. Keep going. There's no one else with his unique director's vision. His angles wide and tight. Okay. Each moment feels so right. Does it? Defines Italian style by only his decision.
That's a song about.
Are you
the filmmaking
fucking kidding me?
process, If I've ever heard one.
I mean, this is not Folie Bergère, which is maybe the best song in the whole movie, only because the one point where I love the little Guido, which to me feels like a reference to Cinema Paradiso. Rob Marshall saw that Italian movie, so he's like, I'm gonna have a little boy who loves movies running around.
Yes.
And Judi
Sure.
Dench sees him from the stage and says, I wrote this down too. Guido Contini, what are you doing here? What are you doing here at the Folie Bergère? You naughty boy! You're only 9 years old! But I'm glad you've came to the Folie Bergère!
Mike is peeking.
I remember when this movie came out, there was so much discourse about like why is Daniel Day-Lewis in this movie? He is so bad. I do not. I mean, I don't think he's good, but I don't think that he
But
is
he's
the
not
glaring
atrocious.
problem of the film.
No.
It's
I
just
mean,
that the film is bad.
Paid.
when
Everyone
asked to
else
point
is
to my
bad around
when I'm
him.
asked to point to my favorite film version of Nosferatu, I always point to Daniel Day-Lewis in 9. It's a great performance, and what he's doing with his voice is Italian, and it sounds
Exactly.
Italian.
He is
Exactly
being
right.
Italian.
It sounds Italian. He sounds like fucking
He's
Dracula.
Italian in this.
So Ben,
sound like Dracula.
I used to defend this performance. I'm now kind of comfortably okay saying I think it's his worst performance, and not like this is just
Daniel
for me.
Day-Lewis?
Say.
Yes, and not the worst of his performances, all of which are good. I just don't think this performance really works in totality. But I also don't think it's his fault, because I think a lot of the musical numbers are established in this way, where a woman does striptease, and then you cut to Daniel Day-Lewis, who's just like in bed, like
Being like,
Yeah,
like,
the Penelope Cruz number.
"Va-va-voom."
He's like,
But there's-
I'm on the phone.
Or like there's
it's
scenes where
literally
he's
just a
literally
movie about Daniel Day-Lewis is so horny that he
And
Yeah,
he's sitting,
that's the
it's
whole
about a
movie.
sex addict, and like someone's doing a number, and he's just sitting there with his hand on his cheek, or looking like Hillary Clinton when they killed killed Osama bin Laden with like his hand over his face, just like watching the train wreck unfold. It's a bad idea, and
He's just like, I'm all out of ideas. That's all he's
He's not
the
fair to
woman
your
that
husband. He's not fair
inspired
to
me.
your. He's not fair to my wife. Like, what is that?
She is my wife. She is allowed to be here.
A screenplay is a map. Thank you. Great. Groundbreaking.
I don't like it.
I do
Penelope
think his,
Cruz is at the train station. She's just
Academy
at the
Award
train
nominee.
station. That's right. That was
Academy
really
Award nominated
Penelope's
performance.
moment.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
she'd
she
won
had
the year
just
before.
won. She gets the big song. That,
One
like,
actress
in the
was always
play
gonna
was
get
the big
nominated.
song.
That was Jane Krakowski, I think, who won a
Tony
Tony
Award
for
winner.
9.
Yes,
Yeah, she won a
that's Jane
Tony for 9,
Krakowski's
and
Tony.
they say her performance of A Call from the Vatican was extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that Jane Krakowski would find the humor in it better than Penelope Cruz, but Penelope Cruz is an extremely
I mean,
gifted
does
comic
Penelope
talent.
know what the words are? And like, I get
So,
the sense that
I'm going to stand up.
It does give me the sense of like she's just reading the lines phonetically.
I think it's Rob Marshall's fault, honestly, because she won an Oscar for a
Most
performance
things
that is
are
also
Rob Marshall's fault,
yeah.
including movies that he is
Obviously-
not a part of.
Obviously, a lot of Vicky Cristina Barcelona, her performance is in the Spanish language, but not entirely. And when she's speaking English in that movie, it completely works. And I mean, it's been a long, like Vanilla Sky, I think is a movie that I might point to as, I think that she maybe needed a little bit more help here. But I think the problem is that Rob Marshall doesn't know what's funny about this. And I think Penelope, with her sheer charisma, manages to make that number somewhat exciting to watch. But I also like watching 9 made me feel like the world's biggest prude, because I think so many of these numbers are demeaning. That like
The
it's
women.
basically just every woman in this movie has to like, including Judi Dench, be in like
Including
a,
Sophia Loren, his mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have to be in sort of like a push-up bra bodice, you know, and, scantily clad ensemble, and then proceed to take their clothes off for him. I'm like, that's not on paper a problem, but when every single woman in the movie has to do it, like it's everyone's turn at some point, and that like you can't get away that the film opens with the Weinstein Company logo, like it just leaves kind of a bad taste in the mouth, and and I think that Marion Cotillard is who I would have given the nomination to out of all of them.
Same. She's Luisa Contini.
She's Luisa
Like,
Contini. Damn
What
it.
else does she have except potentially an
Nothing.
Oscar nomination? She has nothing.
Nothing.
She has nothing because he took it all.
She was his muse until she wasn't.
When they show like the audition, like the original audition video for her, and she's like,
Oh, I'm so.
and he's like, let me mess up your hair. And then he bites her
Yes.
on the neck because he's Nosferatu.
He's a
That
vampire.
guy too.
Anyway,
Anyway, that's 9.
well, there's something else to say about 9 that I just wanted to share. I don't know if you guys knew this or not.
There is?
When talking about whose fault this movie is in the edit,
Many people.
obviously one turns to Rob Marshall as your main culprit.
Yeah.
I do think that it begs to be considered, and it does not bring me any joy to say this, because I say this as an enormous fan of this person. But famously, Ina Garten did do an episode of The Barefoot Contessa where she made snacks to bring to Rob Marshall in the editing bay while he was cutting 9.
What?
Shut
And
up.
it's possible that when she brought him
So
the tuna
this is
wasabi
Ina
roll,
Garten's fault.
it's possible that the mercury
It's
level in that tuna was too high, and it made him insane.
We're blowing the
So
lid
it's-
off of this story.
It's something to consider. It's something to consider.
That is
And,
so insane. Why do you know this?
Because I watched Barefoot Contessa at the time, and she's like, I'm going to make something fun for my friend Rob. He's making his new movie. It's going to be really good.
I'm gonna surprise Rob in the editing bay. with
Totally.
my
She loves to feed her gay friends.
She does.
And yeah. By the way, if anyone hasn't read Ina Garten's memoir, I highly recommend it. I
Ooh, I
did
would
the
love to
audiobook
do
for
that.
it. She is such a wonderful person that like the only adjectives she used in the entire book are either good or fun or not good or not fun. And I'm like, this is one of the most
That's all
beautifully
you
written
need.
books I've ever come across in my life.
mean,
But anyway,
how
yeah,
fun is
she
that?
did make tuna wasabi rolls for Rob Marshall in the edit
Sounds
bay
delicious.
for 9. So
That's wonderful.
It
That's
might
really great.
not only be Rob's fault.
That's
it might
the
be the
fault.
mercury in the tuna.
Wow.
Well, we're all better
think
for
that's
it.
it.
Thank you, Ina.
Yeah. I think
Wow.
we did it. I think,
think
let's
we
wrap
did
it
it.
up.
Let's wrap it.
We
2
have to
hours.
talk about what
We're over
we're
2 hours.
watching.
Let's.
I'll just go first in order to keep this thing moving along. Okay, so the question is, what did we watch last? I watched
Yes.
Surratt. I thought it was excellent. I did not take
Oh,
it
well,
literally,
late to
and
the
so
Q&A.
Sure.
I didn't have a problem with some of the.
Did you get really
elements of the film.
upset when the big thing happens?
I got
Spoil
upset.
it. I want to know.
No,
what's
oh no.
controversial about it.
I'm. It's not for you, Brandon. I'm not going to spoil it because I imagine a lot of listeners have not had a chance to see it yet. But I think people have been
Mike.
hinting at these events that happen in it that either piss people off or make
Yeah.
them really
It's very
vocal.
divisive.
It totally
It is
worked
very
for me,
divisive.
and
Yeah.
I guess I'm not even going to get into why because I would have to talk about what happens. But
I wanna see
this
it.
movie to me is not meant to be taken literally.
I think it's a really
meant to be-
special sensory experience.
I completely agree, and
More
I
than
think that
narrative.
I wonder if it's gonna play.
it's
So
it's
I
not
represent-
by coincidence that the Sergi Lopez character kind of drops his MO like by the end of Act 1. That's not
right.
the director's aware.
Right.
I'm just going to say that. And I think that Lopez gives one of my favorite performances of the year.
Really?
Loved it. I really
I
loved it.
wonder-
I'm also I'm reading the Clint biography, but I'm also doing William Friedkin's memoir on audiobook, which is a major pleasure. And I'm just finishing up the Sorcerer chapters right now. So watching Surratt with all of that in my head was also kind of fun.
Sure.
I wonder if it's gonna play near me. I represent Middle America. Do I get the movies? Do I?
I don't know if you do, Brandon, because you're the only one here who hasn't seen Song Song Blue, which is a
Yeah.
huge hit in Midwest USA.
I think Surratt is having its main release right
Now.
now. So it would
It's
be
happening
there.
right now.
It's
It would be
happening.
in Detroit
We might-
now.
We might
it's
get
that.
it at like in Ann Arbor for a day. I hate life.
I mean, it's
You should try to see it if you
It's
can.
nominated
I would
for
like to
international
see it
feature,
in a
so
theater.
it'll definitely be. I
the
think it'll stick around for
soundscape-
longer than a day.
Needs to be experienced in a theater, I think. I think you would have
Yeah.
a richer experience if you saw it theatrically.
yeah, I
When-
agree.
So
'Cause
Ben,
it's a
Ben,
loud
when
movie.
when the bass does finally stop in the 1st 20 minutes of the movie,
Yeah.
I almost just like stood up and applauded, mostly because I couldn't listen to it anymore, which is
Yeah,
not a
That
critique
just-
of the film.
That just sounds.
Yeah.
but it
so
it gets
fantastic.
you. It got me
It
anyway
is quite,
into a
it's
very
assaultive.
into a very agitated psychological place,
Which I'm sure is
that-
intentional.
That agitas serves me, the viewer, well as the film
Yes.
goes on, and it takes the turns that it does. But again, I
really hope it
that's all
plays
I'm going to say about Surratt because I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
After we spoiled the hell out of Song Song Blue, but that movie's been out
We
for
sure
a while.
did. That's,
no one
we
got
don't
it.
need to.
No one cares.
We're
my
not
God,
going to
sorry.
spoil the movie that isn't about narrative, but we are going to spoil the movie that is about the narrative.
At the end of Song Song Blue, when the son is watching the videotape of Hugh Jackman
Yes.
from Beyond the Grave, that's when I was like, this is, again, so humiliating. He wasn't even in the conversation for Best Actor. He didn't even get the Golden Globe nomination. By the way, I don't think he's bad in the movie. I think he's miscast. But I appreciate the effort. I mean, he sweat through 13 polyester shirts, at least, in the production of that film. And I appreciate
He's a
the
song and
dedication
dance
to-
man. He's doing it all.
He's a song and dance man, and I appreciate the work that went into grounding that into a Midwestern persona.
The thing
But,
about Hugh
it
Jackman
is
is when he does
embarrassing.
the song and dance is you can see the effort, and that's what voters love. You can really. I would not describe him
the-
as an effortless performer.
No, no, the effort is the
Effort
story.
is visible.
Do you remember the poster for the boy from Oz?
I
It's
don't.
like ripping his shirt open. He's,
Oh,
like, on the
yeah.
piano. He's like.
Uh-huh.
Like, that kind of was the
Classic.
perfect introduction to who Hugh Jackman is as a performer for me.
That's right.
That and the Tony's performance. Anyway, I watched Surratt. Brandon,
The last thing I watched was season 2, episode 14 of Netflix's gay reality show, The Boyfriend, which
You're getting
I
so
will
close
not-
to the end.
I know. I will not speak on The Boyfriend here. You can read the Substack I wrote about it. But that show means a lot to me, and
Me too.
I've just
A reunion episode has aired in Japan that is not on
Yes.
Netflix yet, so I
it's
hope
on
that
YouTube.
Okay,
Well, it's not an episode, but it's like 18 minutes. It's on
got
YouTube.
it. Got it.
But yeah, it just I'm gonna miss my boys when it's over.
I thought it was quite a program.
It is. It's. Anyway, read my Substack. I wrote a whole thing about it. I
I
won't
haven't
waste
seen
time
it,
here.
but I want to read the Substack. I have seen Ken Russell's The Boyfriend, which might be an interesting movie to discuss on here one day.
I'm not going to
Write it
watch that
down.
again. I'll be.
Oh, you're
love-
not a fan of The Boyfriend?
I'm not a fan of The Boyfriend, but I do like Ken Russell generally, but not that one.
that one was
Not
just
that one.
pure cinema for me.
That one was
have,
just like a lot of. It was just a lot.
maybe
I'll
we'll do
be
Tommy or
honest.
something. I also have a copy of The
Tommy.
Music Lovers in the other room that I've been meaning to watch as well. So
The Music Lovers is
maybe we'll do a
my
Ken Russell
favorite.
hour.
Ken Russell hour.
But I should
the
watch
last
The
thing
Boyfriend
I
too.
watched was the Mel Brooks documentary, The 99-Year-Old Man, Judd Apatow's on HBO Max. It's exactly what you think a Judd Apatow 4-hour documentary about Mel Brooks is going to be. It's good. Before that, though, I watched Being There, the Hal Ashby film starring Peter Sellers and Shirley MacLaine. Loved that. I watched that the other night, and I thought that was very special and moving. And
Yeah.
Hal Ashby is a filmmaker who, the older I get, the more I see value in what he does. When I was younger, I kind of wrote him off because I think I watched Being There when I was a teenager, but I didn't really remember it. And I didn't really care for Harold and Maude until I've gotten older, and I see his movies as being something that you need to have experienced a certain amount of life to really understand. And so I really recommend Being There.
I would shout out, Ben, to piggyback onto that. There was I thought, pretty great documentary about Hal Ashby that came out in 2018 or 2019. And most people, I think, kind of just maybe associate him with Harold and Maude, maybe being there as well. But it's the film. I mean, I don't. It's not a groundbreaking formal experiment of a documentary or anything, but it is a wonderful overview of the career and the person. And if you're having this moment of kind of falling in love with Hal Ashby, the person, the artistic spirit, I recommend watching the documentary Hal.
I should give that a look. What are we talking about next episode?
I'll go first again. I am taking us back in time about 20 years to discuss a performance by one of my favorite actors from the film Capote. And it is a performer who received Academy Award recognition for the film, portraying a literary icon of the time. But I'm not talking about Philip Seymour Hoffman as the titular Capote. I'm talking about Catherine Keener portraying Harper Lee in Capote. So we're going to weigh the merits of the Catherine Keener Best Supporting Actress nomination for Capote 20 years later. And
Capote.
spoiler alert, I think it's a really good performance.
Hell
It's
yeah.
a fantastic performance. I just reviewed it for this very podcast.
I am very excited to rewatch for this podcast.
I
love
watched
the
it
film.
3 weeks ago, and I'm
Totally.
going to watch it again before
Hell
next
yeah.
episode.
Hell
Great
yeah.
movie.
My topic is finally gay. Watching Josie and the Pussycats for the first time.
Nice.
Let's see what that's all cracked up to be.
I
gays
don't
funny
love
gay.
that movie, but I will watch it again.
Great. You have to.
Thank
Just
you.
kidding.
I like the music in it a lot.
More than 9?
Yes. I can
bar
immediately
is in the
call to
basement.
mind some of the hooks
You
of
could
the
remember?
music in Josie and the Pussycats, but I cannot with 9, a movie I have seen double the amount of times.
Fantastic. That's a good
and
endorsement.
I will be bringing up, I think for the first time ever on this podcast, a music album, not a visual piece of media. I've been listening a lot to the album of Patti Smith's that turns 30 years old this year, which makes me feel really old because that album was not 10 years old when I first discovered it. Gone Again, which was her first album that she made after the death of both her best friend Robert Mapplethorpe and her husband Fred Smith. And it's a very powerful, exciting album of music that I don't know if you two
Excited
have
to
any
listen.
I do have some relationship with
relationship
it, but
with.
my relationship to Patti Smith is more in the Patti Smith group vein. And then, of course, horses. I do want to say, Ben, that this is going to be the second time we've talked about non-visual art on the podcast because you remember the two of us talked about Beyonce when we went to
That's
On the
right.
Run 2
Did.
That's right.
You
at
did.
the Rose Bowl back in
On the Run 2.
whenever that was.
My Patti Smith anecdote is that I randomly saw her on the street in New York.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that's the ideal.
She was just
sighting.
like on the corner, and thank God I was with my friend who like knew to recognize her, but I was like, that's just some lady.
Yeah.
She was yelling
would
about
just look
Rambo
like some
on the
lady.
corner,
Yeah,
holding a
probably.
She was just
sign.
some lady, but my friend was like, that's Patti Smith. That's Patti Smith.
That's amazing.
That's right.
I'll share my Patti Smith anecdotes on the pod next week. Or
I'm
in 2
very
weeks,
excited
rather.
to share this album with the both of you.
Yay.
And with that, if you haven't yet, run, don't walk. Go watch 9.
Go watch 9,
Yes.
movie of the
What a
decade,
film.
movie of the century
oh.
so far.
Here's how we can end. I
Playing the
wanted
song
to.
from 9?
Yeah, let's just quickly
you're
play the
reciting
soundtrack
it?
to 9. I wanted to.
If you have any thoughts
Okay.
on 9, please email us at
Email us.
moviesimopod@gmail.com. If you have any thoughts on any of the other topics we discussed, don't email us.
If you wanna
Just
fight with us-
9
oh.
emails.
Okay, and
kidding,
that's
it's that.
literally what I'm trying to bring up. Okay, here we go. Wanted to thank Daniel and Patty for the really nice emails that they sent to us.
Yes.
Yes.
And now I feel on the spot. But they were genuinely lovely, and it was really nice to hear from you both.
Yes.
And we were all touched by what you said. So
Yeah,
thank you.
so keep emailing us. We love emails.
We do.
Only about 9.
Only about 9.
Or if you want to fight us.
Email us about the Folie Bergère.
Email us if you are currently being Italian.
Wait, I'm always Italian. Wait,
Same.
Yeah.
Same.